Tyrant, and second Tyrant is up. But speaking of being up goes the Mosey, but I think we're about to clash that kill. Oh, Zhongfei with the Unbridled Rage pushback manages to clip Mosey there as well, and now the beast is online. We see the takedown of Mai as well. Down goes Mai for the Byron, but Huyi comes through, takes down Lady Sun, so down goes one of their big damage outputs, and they don't have Ganmo here either, so it's going to be really troublesome.
And the long-range snipes have just been on point this game. They land it again onto Gun and Mo. The lockdown of the crowd control is too much. It looks like Beşiktaş are going to take game number 1 here, or do they just want more kills? It looks like they don't want to take the crystal yet. They want to ride it onto Major Pride. They want to take more kills. They want to...
Might on the side of Major Pride here, so they could absolutely try and steal this if they really want to, but you can kind of see Beşiktaş Esports trying to bait here, and they manage to bait the Mai. They do take down Mai, but it is a trade for Dama. It is a trade for Daji as well. Jing is popping off. Byron takes down the Huan. We have the shortened crowd control boots here, but again we're seeing that death from Sunset come through on the side of Beşiktaş Esports, and then Zhongfei goes in. That's a huge engage in that clash lane turret, and being able to lightning damage to the side of Major Pride. But I feel like this is it. The minions are at the crystal once again, and it is only a lane here to try and stop it, but he is trying to clean up. Is he going to do it? He does crucial crowd control 4 times. That is a double kill to a lane, but it's not going to be enough. Major Pride get there. Give again a lot of damage to this Ali. We see the Liempo straight into the back of the line. Ali just busing from the distance with that blazing brilliance, and then Byron just clean it up. Wawa on the Derenji. Ray is on the run. Clue is on the run back to base, and it looks like they may pick up a Masashi kill, and the second tier turrets have now fallen. It is ground zero at the crystal. Lamb there, Byron there, Liempo, Ali all here to play. The only person that's not there is Angela, and they managed to pick up another few kills as well. Lamb trying to pick off Wawa and Luban as well. It is a wipeout by the Vicious. They get an ace. Zhongfei is here, but it's not going to be enough to keep this crystal alive in game 1. And game Luban and Nabil are all here as well, but Ali does manage to drop the Mai, so it is currently a 4v5 at the moment. A lot of damage being done there onto 919, but Jing manages to still pick up the Luban. It is a triple kill for Ali and a double kill for 911. Somebody call 911 for 919 as they take down the crystal, and it's a 2-0 stomp.
Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the Open Series here, Honor of Kings EMEA Finals. As you just saw the highlights from yesterday's games, we had 2 crazy quarterfinals that we showed you, but today we also have 2 more quarterfinals as well to see who will be advancing to the semi-final and who unfortunately will be going home. My name is Stuart, and joining me by my right hand side is Mr. Blam, the legend himself of Honor of Kings. Blam, have you had a breather after yesterday's banger series? Have we had a bit of a break now, you know, ready to go for another day?
Absolutely. Always ready for more Honor of Kings esports, to be fair. But I mean, living up to the legend of Honor of Kings, I think is a pretty big boots to fill, which I'm still trying to fill, but we're getting there. But yeah, I mean, we've had some really great matches yesterday and some really big upsets, like seeing that Major Pride was able to take that first series 2-1. And then obviously Star Wars Esports not able to get a single win on the board as well, which obviously we both know a few of the players from the teams, and obviously condolences to the team, Star Wars Esports. But the Vicious really showed some great promise going into the semifinals.
Yeah, for sure. If you're new to the stream and if you haven't actually seen what's going on, this is the Honor of Kings Open Series. 8 of the best teams came through qualifiers in many different regions and many different countries, and they're all playing in a LAN in Abu Dhabi for a $23,000 prize pool. And also the winner of the entire tournament gets a ticket to Malaysia for the Invitational Season 2. As we just mentioned, you know, Major Pride beating Beşiktaş yesterday 2-1, and STE unfortunately losing to the Vicious 2-0. 0. But then, as we mentioned, Blam, 2 more quarterfinals coming up again today.
Yep, so we've got S2G against RUKH Esports. We've got the Turkish region trying to reclaim some vengeance from the Eastern European region as well. And then over to the last game of the day, but I'm very much looking forward to this one. It's All Gaming Hong Kong against HoK Esports and MENA. So again, it's the Wildcard versus the MENA region once more. And it's going to be really interesting to see if HoK Esports is able to pick up a win against All Gaming Hong Kong. But obviously me witnessing that Wildcard qualifier, I think it may be a little bit of a stretch. But hey, if we're hold up to some surprises yesterday, there's going to be some more surprises today, surely.
Yeah, I just have to make sure that I don't do any predictions today. Otherwise, I'll be casting a lot of players again today, which I don't think I'll be doing. I think I've already accepted defeat after what happened yesterday. That's for sure. But yeah, we'll be having two quarterfinals today. The first game will be S2G Esports against RUKH Esports as well. I mean, if the games went similar to what they were yesterday, we could be seeing maybe even some more upsets today as well, because I think the crazy thing is that with this LAN environment, with them all being in Abu Dhabi, as we saw yesterday, you know, even with that little tiny teaser at the start of the broadcast as well, we can see that everyone's so high on emotions, everyone's so ready, and they're so determined to try and prove themselves on the LAN stage. Because I mentioned, you know, $23,000 prize pool is pretty big, but also just getting a ticket to that Invitational Season 2 in Malaysia. I mean, Blam, you already casted the Invitational Season 1 before as well, and you kind of know what the competition is like as well. So tell us a little bit about, you know, kind of the teams that they could be coming up against by the end of this week if they're able to win.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to be a tough cookie for them going into the Season 2, because, I mean, we've already got some teams already confirmed for it. So you've got the likes of the Season 1 Invitational champions, that is Vivo Keystars, and they are always a great team to watch, but also a hard team to fight against. Obviously, we'll be looking at that further on in a moment, but at first we're going to look into the video of these teams going forward today.
Hi, I'm Iraqi Zoro, and I'm the support player for Team S2G. So my teammates are Closer in the ADC role, Rekna in the mid lane, Kostra in the jungle, and last but not least, Sora in the top lane. If I had anything to say about these guys, it would be that these are excellent players. And honestly, when I came looking and searching for a team to compete with in honor of Kings, I didn't expect myself to get quite as lucky as I did with finding these players. And besides just being so happy to be competing alongside them, I'm also very thankful for their personalities and just how kind and warm they are, and how that has contributed to our synergy outside of the game. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges that we faced so far in our composition as a team is the fact that we have many personalities that are very expressive and want to take on a leadership role and want to contribute as much as possible to the team's success, because we all ultimately are so passionate about winning. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges that we faced, because gameplay wise, we don't have a lot of problems trying to figure out where we need to improve and figure out how to do so. But it was, like I said, the personality side of things that we struggled to manage for a long time. But I am happy to say that I think we have found the right setup and the system. And this is also in thanks to the supporting staff that we have around us as a team. We have found the right setup and system, like I said, to allow every player to feel very comfortable and to allow them to contribute as much as they'd like to the team's success. Well, I think for this tournament is an easy one to answer. Our ultimate goal by far definitely is to win the entire competition, because we would really like to get to the Season 2 Invitational that will be happening later on in Malaysia. And that is a goal that is shared between myself and the rest of my teammates. It's our ultimate goal for this tournament. Beyond this tournament, I think participating in the EWC happening later on in this year would be amazing for us, and it would be an amazing experience to have when it comes to again playing against more international competition at a stage at that level. And beyond the EWC, of course, every team's goal will be to make it to KIC, and they go as far as they can in KIC, and we share that goal as well. We've worked tirelessly to get to this point, and now we need your energy more than ever. To all the S2G fans and Honor of Kings fan, please come watch the broadcast and stand with us in the regional finals.
Great to hear there from RUKH Zoro. He already mentioned about how he feels like he's found the perfect team, and they all have the same passion, they all have the same commitment as well, and he's going to be part of that roster to start things off for today's series. So we have Zoro 6, we have Kostra, we have Rekna in the mid lane, Closer, and then RUKH Zoro, who we just heard from in the support role. A lot of high expectations from this team. Again, kind of as we mentioned yesterday with some of the other teams coming in as the first seed from Turkey, had a pretty much unbeaten run up until this point, only dropping 2 games in that final to Beşiktaş.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, because obviously Beşiktaş Esports only managed to score 1 up onto Major Pride, which obviously, going against a team like S2G, we thought that Beşiktaş being able to take 2 wins off them, not the whole game, but 2 wins, was going to be something that was potentially going to lead them to a better victory. But speaking of Major Pride, here is their counterparts within the Eastern European scene. On RUKH Esports, we have Yukini, we have Royal, we have Kashi Batir, we have Senior, Pink, and Mira in the farm lane there as well. So this is the team that S2G need to beat to give some redemption to that Turkish region as well, because they've already had 1 taken off the table by the Eastern European region. They don't want to lose another team.
Oh, definitely. I think there's going to be a lot of preparation coming in from these 2 teams as well. We kind of saw yesterday how there was kind of a lot of preparation, it seemed like, from behind the scenes as well, because the picks and drafts and everything were a little bit different last time around that we saw yesterday, because they're trying to focus more on heroes that some of these players are really comfortable on, heroes that maybe can have a little bit of an advantage as well, you know, some of the pocket picks that we saw yesterday. And the same will have to happen today as well with both of these 2 teams. I'm sure they would have had time to prepare. They had basically the whole of yesterday to prepare, since they had that 1 day kind of, I guess you can call it, break in a way, or 1 day before their games actually started, whereas yesterday they didn't have as much time to prepare. But all that preparation now comes down to this. You know, going to RUKH Esports, like you mentioned, you know, if it's the same as kind of yesterday, then RUKH Esports could definitely pull up another upset, because I think compared to the Turkey region, we thought coming into this that the Turkey region would be really strong compared to regions like the Eastern Europeans. But Major Pride came out yesterday and said to us, basically said to us in game, it was like, hey, look, we're here to play as well. It's like, don't underestimate us. We are a very strong region as well.
Yeah, I think the thing that was really the upset for Beşiktaş Esports was it wasn't the same roster as Season 1. I think that's where Major Pride really had their major positive against them, whereas Beşiktaş Esports was completely new apart from Urian. But speaking of Beşiktaş Esports, their Season 1 coach is actually on the roster of S2G this time around, which is Kostra. So again, could it be Kostra's knowledge, that personality that RUKH Zoro was alluding to within that opening video, may have been one of those big personalities, because obviously Kostra was the coach, but Rekna was also their previous mid lane on the side of Beşiktaş Esports. So quite close ties between both of these teams within the Turkish region. But I can imagine that these being the winners of the Open Split series in that Turkish region, we're going to expect some really good gameplay from S2G.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, I think a lot of familiar names and a lot of big names as well in multiple other mobile MOBAs on the side of S2G, which is kind of where the expectation comes in as well, from what we have the understanding of these players and everything. But since we know that it's a LAN environment, since this is one of the first kind of Honor of Kings tournaments as well for the EMEA region, again, it's a lot of things of, we don't really know too much about these teams. We don't really know how they're going to play, how they're going to adapt to, Honor of Kings as well. Because, we've seen already yesterday that games can just turn around so quickly. We had so many comebacks yesterday, so many plays yesterday that we were not expecting to happen. And the games happen so fast that you just have to make sure that you keeping the right mindset the whole time as well, which I think S2G have. As RUKH Zoro said, they've got players on their teams that have a lot of personality, also have a lot of experience as well. As you said, with Kostra and also Rekna being in Season 1, and RUKH Zoro having some international experience as well before. So they have a lot of names, but sometimes that can be a little bit of a clash as well. He said that was one of the kind of problems that they had to kind of overturn as well, is when you have so many players on your team that want to be that leader, that want to be that shot caller, then sometimes you kind of get a mixed feeling when it comes to the game itself. One person is shot calling for one thing and another person is shot calling for another thing. So it's kind of trying to find that right balance, I think, for S2G that will allow them to come on top in this series.
Yeah, I mean, whilst S2G has all that to battle with, RUKH Esports are very much in the unknown, so they could really use that to their element within this best of 3, because if we look back onto their open split results, they managed to take everything bar the grand final 2-0, but after we saw Major Pride yesterday and how much they've developed over since the Season 1 Invitational, they managed to take a 4-0 complete wipe in that grand finals in the Eastern European split. So again, RUKH Esports have gone for picks against Major Pride. We can already see stuff like a very control mage heavy go in the mid lane for RUKH Esports, because every game against Major Pride they pretty much picked up Princess Frost. So whether that was just to sort of like throw off these teams going into the regional open series, and seeing that we can, if that's just sort of like a barrage, to see what else they have in store for us. But we are going to be looking at the video for RUKH Esports now.
Всем привет, я Алихан, мой игровой никнейм Каши Батыр, я капитан команды RUKH Esports. Наш топер Юкина, голдер Мира Q, роумер Сеньор Пинк и лесник Роял. В целом о каждом из команды много рассказать не могу, потому что мы собрались относительно недавно. Вообще мы из разных дисциплин заинтересовались данной игрой, решили собрать состав и попробовать себя на данном турнире. Ну, основной трудностью было найти нужных игроков. Я люблю рассказывать это так. В трудную минуту, в момент отчаяния, наш игрок, Сеньор Пинк, мы не могли найти роумера, и он решил все взять в свои крепкие плечи и пересесть на данную роль. Можно сказать, он единолично решил эту сложность. Я считаю, что это повлияло и будет влиять в будущем на наши результаты. Ну, как я говорил, мы все из разных дисциплин, и даже при подготовке к турниру каждый что-то свое вкладывал, и так зародилась наша уникальная стратегия. Я считаю, что наше самое сильное качество — это устойчивость к тильту. Я бывал в разных командах, где было понимание, что если проиграем, то все, на этом разойдемся. Здесь же обратное чувство, как будто даже если проиграем, продолжим играть. Примерно такая атмосфера в команде. Но на данном турнире главная цель — это опыт и еще раз опыт, потому что он нам сильно необходим на данный момент. А в будущем, конечно же, пройти на HoK International. Я думаю, это главная цель всех команд, которые участвуют на данном турнире. Присоединяйтесь к нам в региональном финале, смотрите трансляцию и станьте свидетелями нашего пути.
Nice to get a little bit of insight there of RUKH Esports, mentioning how they kind of struggled at the start in terms of trying to find the right team, the right teammates to be able to synergize together, feeling that they found the right Roma at the right time that felt like fit all the boots. But also they were talking about needing experience as well, Blam, and what better way to get experience than to play it against a team like S2G and also on a LAN environment and a stage like this.
Absolutely. It's nice that they share that same kind of sentiment compared to, as Major Pride, because we saw that Major Pride just want to sort of play the best team so that they can learn the most from those best teams and then just improve that way, which is definitely one of the ways of improving the best, because if you play against the best, you know what, everything else is going to be a little bit easier for you if you're able to sort of take that knowledge on board and then adapt it to your own team play. And so it's really nice to see that RUKH Esports shares that same kind of sentiment. And fair play to Senior Pink for taking up that support role as well. As you were saying, they were struggling to find the right players, and this player, Senior Pink, has taken that role upon himself. So again, he's not meant to be in that support lane, but he's definitely said, for the team, lads, so just so we can compete, we're very recently put together, I will definitely fill those boots for us, and hopefully it goes really well for them. But like you said, Stu, going against a team like S2G is definitely where that experience milestone and mission begins.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the start of dreams for most of these players as well, with yesterday the quarterfinals happening, and then you just have really just a few more, one more best of 3 and then one more best of 5, and then you qualify for the season 2 invitational. Then who knows what happens after that point as well. This is obviously everyone's goal here is to try and win this tournament and to try and qualify for the invitational season 2. But let's kind of talk about the draft a little bit. Oh, wow, perfect timing. I was going to say that let's talk a little bit about draft and what we're expecting to see, but let's not talk about what we're expecting to see. Let's go into what we're actually going to be seeing. So RUKH Esports on the blue side, S2G on the red side, a few big bans being picked up already, Lamb, Ali being banned, and Adoria already been a high priority in this tournament, getting that first pick away here.
Yeah, so for a team like RUKH Esports, going for the Dolia, so what is necessarily quite an overpowered hero within Honor of Kings, that going down into support lane on a player that doesn't necessarily play support is going to be a huge improvement for your team, because one, Dolia is not really the most intricate hero to play per se, but her abilities make her such a great asset to your team with that double ultimate. And then that gets paired up with HoK, which we know that ult from downtown, the longer that ult travels, the more stun duration it's going to be. So onto the likes of, say for example, Ganmo, you don't really want to be landing onto that Durenji, because that skill 2 is just going to come through and cleanse you, baby. It's like, that's going to make that ultimate seem not so ultimate. But over to the side of S2G, they do ban out the Lamb and the Angelus. So again, another control mage been taken out, and another one, as we just said there, Princess Frost, who we know that RUKH Esports in the grand finals against Major Pride played that hero every round. So I think that was probably a smart move from S2G.
Yeah, kind of if we allude back to yesterday's series, we saw the HoK do incredibly well at picking up heroes like Ganamo in the mid lane. Multiple picks, as you mentioned, going to be a little bit difficult to obviously try and pick off the Durenji, but also the Zhang Wei being picked up again here. Something that you did as well, awesome enough, you know, is like the overall picks of these heroes so far, and Zhang Wei has now been picked in every single game so far. Hasn't had a great win rate so far, but a hero that Iraqi Zoro played a lot in that finals and also in the qualifiers of Turkey, and we'll have to see how their comps round out in this second round of pick phase.
Yep, so we see that the pay gets banned as well. So going back to yesterday, Stalwart Esports, the only team to pick up that hero. Ray played it superbly well, but unfortunately it was just against the wrong team. And then the Elaine as well. Chosen a few times. That Death on Sunset is definitely a asset to your team. When you're going in to do damage, you can then disappear for a few seconds, come back down, and then do greater damage. So I think for RUKH Esports, to take that from Sora 6 is probably going to be a good thing to do. And then obviously Kaiser ban is going to be the final ban to S2G. So definitely aiming at that jungle pool. And they decide to go for the Milady in the mid lane, which is the first time this hero is going to rear her head onto the gorge. Same for Dunn. Again, this was another hero in Season 1 that was played so much because it was everybody was quite new to the scene. Obviously, we still had some quite experienced players, but we always found that the unexperienced players or the lack of experience always seem to go for this Dunn pick because it's a safe pick. It's very easy. It's a great early game, but going into that late game is where you're going to start to see this hero deteriorate, and especially going against that HoK on the side of S2G, and Byron getting picked up in that clash lane as well. So quite an overarching and great team comp there from S2G. We've got to really see how RUKH Esports is able to optimize and use that Dolia on the side of RUKH Esports.
Yeah, definitely. The Milady in that mid lane definitely kind of shone my eyes there for a second. It also brings back nightmares as well, because sometimes the hero could be super annoying to deal with all the little minions running around and everything. But let's head into the first game of today. RUKH Esports on the blue side, S2G on the red side. The first game in this best of 3 series. Can S2G Esports kind of get a little bit of revenge on Eastern Europe, especially after Beşiktaş's loss yesterday? Or can RUKH Esports prove that Eastern Europe is no slouch of a region?
Yeah, I mean, that mid lane pair up there, so we've got the Milady going against the Gammo. Both of these heroes exude their great range, but then also using the minions on the side of Milady could be a problem for Gammo. But as we know, Gammo with the Couple's Blade, his skill Guard Her Grave can get him out of some really sticky situations. And we know that that wave clear on that hero in the mid lane for S2G is pretty fantastic. It's definitely one of the fastest clearing heroes in the mid lane is Gammo, but also Milady can do that as well, as we've seen in one of the finals that we watched together, Stu, that Milady is able to put some amazing pressure onto the mid lane when you are absent from that lane. So I expect to see that from RUKH Esports, which is going to be played by Kashi Batir in that mid lane. But again, we're seeing that Yo Juan come through in the jungle, which makes me scared for RUKH Esports.
Definitely. We've seen this already before, you know, like you mentioned in the draft, you know, the invulnerability, all the healing, the sustain and everything as well, and also the roam potential as well. You can already see Kostra trying to work his way around the map. But yeah, I think Milady, especially with the wave clear, not as much as Gammo, but I think the one upside to this Milady pick is how quickly she can take towers. If you can get an advantage for your team, whether it's an early team fight, she could take towers extremely quickly. Probably one of the quickest that I have definitely seen in Honor of Kings, which makes it a little bit more difficult to try and stop this down. But a little bit of an engage here in the bottom side of the map. Nothing too crazy, just the ultimate coming out there from Hu Yi. Just putting a little bit of pressure here on this bottom side towards closer. But so far, no real crazy aggression on both sides here, Blam. Both teams just taking it steady, trying to roam around, trying to find little advantages around the map, but they haven't really found much advantage so far.
Yeah, S2G really playing a strange two-man rotation here with Hu Huan and the mid lane. We don't normally see that, but obviously these skilled players like Rekna and Kostra, they know that Gammo can pretty much just even out that lane in the minion wave in the mid lane very easily. So that really frees up Gammo just to rotate around, get that passive gold from the jungler as well. So we've not seen this before on a team where the mid is paired with the jungle. It's normally the clash lane that we see paired with the jungle, if any of those extended lanes. But we're already seeing a little bit of a tit for tat here up into the clash lane. Mayeen taking a few hits onto Byron, and as we know, Byron is a great early game hero, but Mayeen, if you can land those combos, you can negate pretty much a lot of that damage that Byron does to you. So well played to Yukeen in the top lane there. Once again, RUKH taking a few bits of jungle from S2G. We see that Kostra is not very happy about that. We saw a mid rotation from Kostra there. But nothing comes of it. There is the Tyrant and the Overlord popping up in 6 seconds. So I expect to see some big team fights around both of these jungle objectives.
You can already see both teams trying to posture around this Tyrant at the moment, trying to go for that early aggressive play and trying to get that early objective to get the extra damage for their team, and that's exactly what they were going to do. All 5 members were at this objective, and looks like Royal might be a little bit caught out here. The knockback as well onto Kostra. Might have to use a flash to get away, but no, doesn't need to in the end. And it looks like for a second everyone was going to get out alive, but the Ganon Mopo from afar, Reknot doesn't really have that much mana left. The flash forward as well from Sora, playing super aggressive along this top side. And nothing comes of it. No kills yet in teams. A few flashes burned, a few engages, but the advantage does go over to S2G to picking up that Tyrant.
Yeah, S2G nicely picking up that Tyrant early game. As we know, it gives you that extra damage and also that chain lightning effect onto your skills, so it gives you a bit more poke. But RUKH Esports is able to pick up the first turret of the game, so we're already seeing a little bit of what seems to me quite tamed for S2G, but I think this is what probably Irakizaro was alluding to in that introductory video, that they have all these amazing personalities, so much sort of like wanting to take leadership and do different things, and this is the only way they can kind of contain it, is sort of having a level-headed early game. They are able to pick up the Tyrant, not quite getting that first turret on the board. Still, first blood is up for sale, but we're seeing Ganmo rotate here, which is Irakizaro putting Rekna putting a lot of damage onto Yukeen there as well. The couple blades coming through and just missing. However, they do get that turret in the absence of Ma'in being there, but that mid lane could also fall. It is literally holding on by the skin of its teeth.
Really well played here by RUKH Esports in this early game, kind of accepting that they lost the Tyrant in the early stages, but actually being able to rotate as Irakizaro trying to use the ultimate in the mid lane, the lockdown there, and first blood is finally drawn after 6 minutes in this game, and that mid lane tower now is exposed for RUKH Esports. That will be taken down. As I was mentioning, RUKH Esports, realizing that they lost the Tyrant, just accepted it and were able to just go towards that bottom side of the map, but actually looks like they were able to get another kill in the bottom side of the map as well, with Royal going down against Sora. So another kill. Oh my god, the poke damage from this Ganon Mo. Rekna making some insane plays in this early game.
Absolutely, that's really brought them back into this match, especially in terms of that turret takedown as well. So not only did they get the clash lane when we first saw it, they've managed to bring back that mid lane dominance as well. Byron going in with that first skill knock up onto Ma'in and wasn't able to link those combos, but it's actually Hugh1 that manages to get the kill there onto Ma'in, unfortunately for Sora, but I'm pretty sure any kill over for your team in Honor of Kings is still going to be a little bit of gold into your team's pocket anyway. But we're seeing quite a few different placements within the teams. We had 3 men up into the clash lane, already pushing that second tier turret to almost a third of its health remaining, and Huyi is going to be the only one there left to keep it alive, but the Renji is also focusing it, so they still managed to clean up that second tier turret 7 minutes into the clash lane. As we were commenting before, Stu, it was a level-headed early game, but this is definitely a calm, collective, but also very calculated S2G, because they are dominating in this laning phase and picking up all the kills across the board so far.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for both teams, trying to just get a little bit of an advantage in either one of the lanes. But S2G are doing really well at grouping up at the moment. They're already grouped up into the clash lane, took that tier 1 tower, then they rotated towards the mid lane. Really nice tower dive by Irakizaro, getting an advantage in that mid lane. And then they're doing extremely well with rotating as a group. And since you are rotating as a group, it's very difficult for RUKH Esports to actually defend these towers. They're able to take all the outer towers, even that tier 2 tower, tower as well in the top side of the map. And now they're looking towards this next tyrant in the bottom side of the map. That has also been taken down as well. And now again, look at them. All of S2G are all grouped together. They just want more kills. They want more tower dives. Sora dashing in, was looking for the engage. Didn't come out in the end, but the poke damage again from RUKH. He's not missing any of these skill shots at the moment on Ganamo. He's hitting every single one. And RUKH just in the bush, just toying with RUKH Esports at the moment. As you mentioned, you know, this was a slow start, but S2G are finally finding their rhythm now, and they are looking really dominant.
Absolutely, especially even with that gold lead as well. They're almost up 6k gold. We see that the RNG manages to take down the Dun, and then once again, crucial crowd control there from a RUKH. Managed to get a 4 hit on that ultimate, that unbridled rage, pushing them away, but enabling to just keep them within range of RUKH with this poke damage is just crazy. And as that is opened up, so has that higher ground turret in the mid lane, and it goes down to S2G. They have absolutely brought back this game in terms of the turrets takedowns, because at beginning with, RUKH wasn't actually quite getting any kills on the board, but they were definitely securing some turrets left, right, and center. But after that effort in the farm lane and the mid lane, it's kind of dwindled from there. It just allowed S2G to be like, okay, we gave you your room to take our turrets. Now, let's show you what we can do. And so far, they're already in the base, taking that high ground turret in the mid lane.
And the aggression and the confidence from RUKH at the moment is absolutely incredible. It's so fun to see the flash forward every single time for this Ganamo is, you know, normally is a melee hero as well. You know, if he doesn't have all of his abilities, he has to walk into melee range all of the time. But you know, RUKH doesn't care. He can flash forward with this Ganamo. He can take everything as all the steal comes in for RUKH Esports. Bit of miscommunication there, it seemed like, for S2G, as only a few members were there at the Overlord. But it doesn't matter anyway. S2G are going to clean house, a killing spree for the jungler Kostra, and they're going to look to try and finish this game. Maybe the Overlord Vanguard won't be able to do too much to help RUKH Esports. Another kill for Kostra, a killing spree as well. S2G want to end this game right here, right now. One more kill over, killing spree for Durenji. One more kill, the triple kill for Kostra in the end. And game one goes over to S2G Esports. Who needs the Overlords when you could just end the game?
Absolutely. Who needs the Overlord when you've got RUKH on that Zhongfei, really putting some amazing pressure onto the side of RUKH Esports. And as you can see from them on the stage, they're very much contemplating that, whilst we see that S2G are celebrating such a clean victory in game one. And what a way to set up day two, match one already for the side of S2G, already putting that great pressure and giving a victory once again over to the Turkish region. They still could potentially have another 2 games within that bag, but as that one stands, I'll be very happy if this actually manages to get past a 2-0 for the side of RUKH Esports, because after that one, that was just too clean.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, the early game was a little bit slow. I think both teams just kind of getting their feeling, getting their bearings. You know, it's the first game in this tournament, the first game at LAN as well. So they're trying to just feel comfortable. But once S2G got in their comfort zone, you can see the confidence. You can see RUKH flashing forward, using his ultimate. You can see even RUKH flashing forward on that Ganamo, which you don't really see too much, but just flashing forward, hitting all them abilities and hit some crazy snipes in the end as well. Kostra playing that jungle to perfection as well, and overall a great performance for S2G, something that we expected out of them as well coming into this tournament after really strong qualifiers.
Absolutely. I mean, experience alone within other MOBAs, and obviously going into Honor of Kings Season 1, RUKH being there, Kostra being the coach as well. There's already going to be a massive effort for that leadership. But as I was saying, the level-headed early game really showed that that was the way they were able to get over it, because it was so calm, so calculated, with RUKH being very present in the mid lane. And then we were seeing something we haven't really seen before with a Honor of King's team within the Open Series, is where we saw the mid lane and the jungler pretty much being buddy in that first few minutes, getting a few bits of gold shared there, here and there. But looking at Rekna, he managed to get a lot of those trick shots off, getting those 6 assists, but only 1 kill. Kostra is really closing those kills towards the end of it there, but between the gold difference between those two is very, very slim. I mean, it's the matter of a few tens. So you can really see why that early mid pairing up from these two heroes on the side of S2G really paid off, because total gold was exactly the same, 21.9%. Damage dealt, very, very similar. Damage taken, obviously, Ganamo had very safe range, and as we know, Hugh Huan is one of those heroes that has an ultimate engage and is able to bait, but also become untargetable in the engage. And then, obviously, unfortunately for RUKH Esports, they managed to get a few turrets, but those jungle objectives definitely failed them. But here is some amazing highlights from the teams.
Yeah, in the end, I don't know if anyone caught it, but RUKH Esports couldn't even get a single kill this game.
No.
It was 12 deaths, and that was it. That's all that S2G needed. They just got every single kill on the board. RUKH Esports couldn't even find a single kill, and it was because of this aggression from S2G Esports and how clean they were able to play around these team fights. Then a shaky moment here, losing the Overlord, something that they definitely need to improve on, as maybe against stronger teams, that's something that they can't really do, to be honest with you, but it didn't really matter in the end as well. Like I said, a near flawless game from S2G if you don't count out that little steal at the end, also the few towers that they took. But 12 kills, 0 deaths in the end. The MVP going to Araki Zoro, making so many plays, especially around that mid lane. After they took that Clash Lane tower, the flank that he made in that mid lane really set the momentum for his team.
Absolutely, that crucial crowd control 4 times. I mentioned to stun 4 of your enemy teams in one single blow is definitely the power of Zhang Fei there. And obviously, you can always see that MVPs don't always go to the most flashiest players. We saw the likes of MZK, a support on the side of the Vicious as well, picking up MVP. So for Araki Zoro to get that as well, Urian is now in the ranks of those supports. But those shot call-ins coming through from Araki Zoro was absolutely phenomenal, and you can kind of see what he meant in that opening video, where they've really worked on sort of trying to bring a central leadership role to him rather than it being split across all the team.
No, definitely. It'll be exciting to see what the second game is going to happen, and what's going to, how RUKH Esports are going to try and bounce back as well, because they think they need a lot to be able to bounce back in this series, especially after that first game as well. It was a bit of a shaky start, unfortunately. But yeah, as you mentioned, with Araki Zoro getting the MVP and also Urian as well yesterday, is like you need that support behind you as well. It's not always about, you know, dealing the most damage, getting the most kills. It's about setting up the plays. It's about being a leader, and it's about making them calls when they matter as well. And as I mentioned during the cast, S2G just being able to rotate around the map as a unit group together. RUKH Esports just didn't really know what to do about it. They were just completely split up most of the time. They were getting dove underneath towers, taking way too much damage, and that's where kind of the momentum swinged after a very close fought early game.
Yeah, and I feel like the Dolly was quite underwhelming within that one. So speaking of underwhelming, we will get back onto that point after our short break as we go into Game 2 between RUKH Esports and S2G. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
I heard there's a mermaid in this area.
Out of 10 Navinians, 11 would tell you that they've heard the mermaid singing.
I wouldn't mind hearing it too.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la.
Eastern Regions Chamber of Commerce sale. Take a look.
Welcome back to the Open Series EMEA Finals here after a very convincing game number one of our first series of the day, S2G Esports, I should say. After a slow start, after a very even start, just put the pedal straight into fifth gear and just went full steam ahead for that first game. And in your opinion, Blam, you know, when looking at that first game, how do RUKH Esports kind of mentally reset after a game like that? You know, not getting a single kill, only getting a few towers after the early game, and not really getting any momentum that game at all.
Absolutely. You speak of steam, and I think that's what turned Dolia into a steamed fish, because it was really an underwhelming pick there. Because when we look at the team comp overall for RUKH Esports, there was not really a hero that complemented getting a second ultimate from Dolia. I mean, the only real one that you could have some playmaking potential with two ultimates there was Mayeen, but as you saw, Byron was always assaulting her in the lane. Early game, very much no way of giving her breathing room, so you could give it to HuYi, but there was never enough distance to give over two ults over to HuYi. And then the other two with Milady, the only real reason you could use that is like a siege mechanic, so taking those turrets with two ultimates would be a great way of claiming a faster momentum in those lanes early game, which was potentially what we saw. But I honestly thought that the Dolia pick over for RUKH was a underwhelming one. I honestly think that even though Zhongfei has now had 6 overall picks on the board, so being basically there and present in every game, I think we may see the first ban for Zhongfei in that one, because again, if you don't ban it, one of these teams is going to pick it up anyway, so we could see RUKH Esports pick up the Zhongfei instead of S2G.
Yeah, we saw that the first pick priority was on that Doria to start things off and didn't really have as much momentum at the moment, unfortunately. I think the big thing being is that it's the ultimate as well, as you mentioned, but also I think it's the sustain as well that you can get from Doria, which is why she is so strong at the moment in this current meta. The only problem was, as you mentioned, is that they didn't really have enough time to kind of sustain fights. They didn't have enough time to create that distance, because S2G just played with so much confidence. They were super aggressive, especially with Araki Zoro as well on that Zhongfei. And I think that if RUKH Esports are on the blue side, this time. I think they might try and switch up that first pick. Maybe instead of going for the Dora, maybe go for something like the Zhongfei instead, or even try and ban it away as well. I believe in game number 1, they banned the Ali away. Maybe they can drop that one and try and pick something else instead. But RUKH Esports are on the blue side. They do switch up their bans this time. Actually, S2G ban Milady. And now RUKH Esports leave that Ali open, and that's what they want to prioritize for this first pick.
Yeah, you can only hope that it's Mirror's pickup here for the Ali and hopes that it's going to be a comfort pick for them. If we do look back to the qualifier, that only Ali came through once, and that was in their fight against Major Pride. It was paired with the Kaiser as well that we're now seeing come through there. So already we're seeing a better effort at the front line already. So you have the Zhongfei, you have the Kaiser, which in game 1 probably would have been paired much better with the Dolia, but unfortunately was banned over on the side of S2G. So again, it's going to be really interesting to see who S2G are going to go for with this Dolia pick. And they're already locking and looking at that Mai, and we know that RUKH already shown that he can play that long distance mage in the mid lane, but Mai is an all different kind of cut. She is always has to be in there. She has obviously a ranged ability that she can use to clear the waves, but predominantly she is there to knock up the enemy heroes, to basically bait them into a 1v1 within those brush sitting moments, and then hope that your team's going to be rapidly round the corner. But they do ban out the Princess Frost as well, so control mage again banned for the side of RUKH Esports, and then Pei gets banned also.
I mean, this is what I know and love about RUKH, casting him before. You know, he loves these assassins. He wants to play aggressive. He loves to play these assassins. You know, seeing him on control mages is definitely feels very different. But even on the mages, you know, you saw it in the last game, you know, in that Gunner Mo, he was flashing forward. He was going for them crazy plays. He was going for them snipes. And this My Hero works so well with how RUKH wants to play the game. He wants to play aggressive. He wants to be that assassin. He wants to be that hero that can play aggressive, go for these crazy flashy plays. And I think this is definitely something more in his comfort zone. Definitely going to be getting a lot of support this game from Zoro on that Doria. You know, we mentioned already yesterday about how Mai doesn't have as much wave clear as some other of the mid lane mages. You can see Princess Frost, Ganamo, and Milady, and all the bans really, and Angela as well. All the bans for these mid lane control mages. The question is, does RUKH Esports have another control mage up their sleeve? They're going to leave it until that last pick, which should be picked very soon. Are they going to go for another control mage? And they are.
Yes, they go for the Xiao Qiao there. So we haven't seen this hero come through yet, I believe. I think the last time I saw this, because I remember being sat with you on a call, and it must have come through on one of the Open Splits finals, because it hasn't come through yet on the regionals. But I was thinking, I've been sat with Stu. We've talked about this hero doing so much damage, and it must have been one of the Open Splits regionals. But looking over to S2G, they do go for one of their most picked junglers in the Open Split Turkey regional Open Split Season 1 Turkey finals as well. So that Nakaruru coming through, we've seen that together as well, Stu. So we can see already the kind of team comp that S2G are going for here. It's super aggressive. There's plenty of places for that Dolly a second ult to go onto, because yes, it may not be a tactical second ult, but it's going to be definitely to further the motion of the aggression from the likes of the Mai, the Nakaruru as well, Dorenji with 2 stuns. So again, some massive, massive potentials on the side of S2G. But that's not to sort of like counter or sort of disregard RUKH Esports comp as well. They have a strong front line. They've got the Dharma as well up into the Clash lane, which we haven't seen being played yet. He's only been banned once in the Open Series regional finals, but is this going to be the proof why he was banned? Because we see that some people pick him up and don't quite able to activate that full Dharma skill.
A Hello Kitty umbrella?
Yeah, Hello Kitty collab, bro.
That's the first time I've seen that one. That's the first time I've seen that skin. That's a cute skin, I have to say. But yeah, Nice little Hello Kitty there. Pretty cool to see. You already saw kind of the level 1 there that RUKH didn't actually need too much help. You can see that the mid lane wave clear is maybe not as strong on this hero compared to the others, like, you know, someone like Galamo or Princess Frost. So it allows RUKH to kind of clear the mid lane wave and try and roam around as he is at the moment, which also allows RUKH to kind of not sit in this mid lane as much as maybe he was expecting to in this game, which you normally do with that Mai. But for now, just hovering over this bottom side for now. It looks like S2G are looking to dive in here onto Royal, completely caught out off guard here, and Royal's gonna be taken down for first blood. Yukine trying to get a trade kill back, but he also needs to be careful as well. Has to use the flash away to safety, but they might try and go for more here. The ultimate underneath the tower, the shielding as well, the extra damage from the HoK, and that's 2 quick kills. S2G, oh my god, Sora nearly dying to the tower in the end. Really clean 2v2 kill there for S2G in that top side, catching out the Royal off guard there.
Yeah, so Royal getting completely 2v1'd, and this is, again, a great testament to the hero Nakaruru. That early game is all about where you can kind of stunt her or let her grow. And right there, we saw Nakaruru coming in with those classic, infamous 2v1s in those lanes, and it's always predominantly in the clash lane, but Dolia getting a little bit of assault there onto the side of S2G from the Kaiser. But again, just a little bit of an observation there. The Elaine is able to sort of counter the Dharma so well, because when he goes into his skills, so those flurry of blade attacks, he has CC immunity. So if you try and get Dharma to use that ult and push him into the wall to stun him, CC immunity is not going to work. So we saw it played beautifully there in the clash lane, but we already seen a little bit more of a feisty RUKH Esports here. We are seeing quite a few trades. Arakizalo a little bit too caught deep in there. Senior Pink picks up the kill onto the enemy support.
A little bit over aggression there by, oh my god, it doesn't even matter. RUKH is just so clean. God, RUKH is such a clean player, taking a trade kill back, and RUKH is probably patting him on the back at the moment, saying like, oh, thank you for that one, I appreciate it, because RUKH jumping forward there, pretty much blind, and didn't really, you know too much about where the members of RUKH Esports were, which meant that he did get picked off with Senior Pink doing a really smart ultimate there, pushing RUKH back. So he needs to be careful on this pit, because RUKH needs to realize that, hey, I'm not playing Shungbei this time around. I can't just dash in and tank all the damage. I need to be a bit careful, because I am a super squishy enchanter support. But you're seeing at the moment that a lot of pressure is going towards this bot lane at the moment, with the mid laner for RUKH Esports rotating a lot in this bottom side. But another kill going over to S2G Esports, another kill for RUKH as well. Really nice catch there in the bottom side of the map, kind of making sure that they get the little advantages they can around these objectives. And this is what S2G Esports have done really good so far in this series. They're able to secure these early objectives, take control around these objectives, and make sure that they get them to get the small advantages that they need.
Yeah, so the big pressure down there in the farm lane was all setting up that Tyrant takedown, as you just saw from S2G. They was able to pick that up. First Tyrant of the game is only going to make these aggressive, high damage output heroes even more powerful for the next 65 seconds, like the Nakaruru, like the Mai. But again, we're also seeing quite a bit of pressure into that clash lane. We're already seeing it again. We tried to see another setup of a 2v1 against the Dharma. Didn't quite work the way it needed to. So we saw that Nakaruru retired that play and decided to go for that Tyrant there. Overlord is still up for grabs. Will we see another steal from RUKH Esports this time around in game 2, or will it be a clean sweep for S2G going into this second game in this best of 3? Kaiser just trading a few little range blows there onto Arakizaro, but like again, Arakizaro is not that Zhongfei. He is a squishy little mermaid with great utility, and he has to remember that. But he gets that healing from the pool. Zhongfei pushes away, try to isolate RUKH within that team fight, but RUKH's too slippy, and a lane comes through thanks to that teleport mechanic in the clash lane as well, in right times. And the out styling from Arakizaro does make him fall but we see that Nakaruru is able to pick up Mirakyu there on the Ali. So again, fantastic rotations from Kostra. This team is very proactive on their rotations.
Yeah, Rekna going a little bit too far there again, dashing forward and getting completely caught by the snipe in the end from Kashi in the mid lane. A little umbrella just making away. The Hello Kitty buff as well coming in handy, getting the kill there onto Rekna. A few over-aggressions, I feel like, in this game. Maybe a bit of overconfidence coming here for S2G. You know, some of the players maybe dashing a bit too far forward than maybe what they are in their likings right now. But you can see that, again, S2G are grouping together as a unit. This is what they've been doing already here in game number 1. They're looking to try and do the same here in game number 2. Rekna's had a pretty good start to this game so far, though. And so has the jungler as well. As it looks like they might be a bit caught out, though. The shielding comes in and it actually gets a trade kill in the end, with Ali getting the shutdown, which is a big shutdown for this Ali, for this farm lane carry, but it's going to be traded back in the end anyway. 2 more kills going in. It's a 3-for-1 trade for S2G Esports. It looked pretty grim at the start, but they're able to counter it back in the end.
Yeah, that Elaine beginning engaged there, just able to sustain a lot of damage, but Nakaruru with the pain trade straight onto Zhongfei there and goes down both of the turrets in the mid lane. So mid lane is now wide open at that higher ground turret, and we can kind of already see that Rekna and Iraqi Zaro are already up in the clash lane as well, already looking to get a proactive minion wave to try and assault the second tier turret in the clash lane. But we saw a nice little trade there. It did go over to Ali, like you said, Stu. It's probably a good pickup for the side of RUKH Esports. I mean, anything's better than 0 kills, right, of game 1. So 3 kills is definitely an improvement, but there is a clash going on in the clash lane, and there's a reason why it's branded that, because it's all going on, and Sora almost fall into the turret once again. Like you said, Stu, I think there's a little bit of overconfidence from game 1.
Yeah, the ultimate coming in there, the shield coming in handy there for S2G and for Sora in this clash lane, making sure that he doesn't unfortunately die for himself. But I think you can see at the moment that S2G, even though there is a little bit of overconfidence coming out, that they just feel so much confidence and that they have so much momentum going in their favor. They have so much aggression going about them. They're able to make these plays. They have the aggression. They have the confidence at the moment, and even if they do get picked off, which looks like it might happen again here, but again, the invulnerability, Sora being able to jump to the skies, take that shield, and come back down and save a life is kind of becoming a little bit of a bait in the end now for Sora, making sure that he doesn't actually die in the end. But you're seeing the gold lead now, like about 4,000, 5,000 gold lead right now. And you can see that the extra aggression coming in here, the shield coming in from Zhongfei, and they're using these ultimates defensively now, RUKH Esports, to try and defend off some of these aggressive plays by S2G.
Yeah, you can kind of see that. Oh, okay. No, Rekna almost got nicked there by the Xiao Qiao, unfortunately, but is able to escape in that Tyrant camp. But like you were saying, that Death on Sunset from Elaine is able to be expendable because of having Dolia with that second ultimate as well. So he's able to use that as a survivability mechanic, but also able to use it as a bait, which is a really good pickup here for the side of S2G paired with the Dolia. I do like the pairing of Dolia on the side of S2G compared to RUKH Esports in game 1, because there was just nothing that could really make use or utilize that Dolia second ultimate, the Oprah of ultimate. You get an ultimate, you get an ultimate, you get an ultimate is definitely better on the side of S2G rather than the side of RUKH Esports. But Canyon minions are up. The Shadow jungle objectives are now here as well. We've just had a second Tyrant onto the side of S2G, but they are already trying to deny Royal into this Shadow Tyrant or even potential bait here, but they are setting this up really nicely, playing the jungle objective to the side. Now they've managed to reset it a little bit too overconfident with that side takedown onto the Tyrant. Nakaruru looking for a scissor mechanic here going in onto Royale. I'm kind of missing it because of the player portraits, but takedown for Kostra once again onto Nakaruru, really showing why S2G like this pickup. And again, we missed down there. Xiao Chao picking up the kill onto the Nakaruru as well. So RUKH Esports are taking these 1v1 trades, which is much better than game one, but they are losing so much more here from Closer getting that kill onto Dharma, onto Zhang Fei. Xiao Chao, again, still loves these 1v1 trades, but she does fall in the end. And Rekna getting that 3 times crucial crowd control, and pretty much nobody there to defend these second-tier turrets now, it seems.
You can see that S2G were kind of using that objective as a bit of a bait in the end. You can see the shutdown coming through there as well, thanks to the replay. But even though they did lose 2 members, S2G, they were able to ace RUKH Esports, and they are going to take a high ground tower here in this bottom side of the map. But as I was mentioning, you know, they weren't really using that objective. They weren't really going to take that objective. They were using it as more of a bait. They were trying to bait RUKH Esports in because S2G know that they have the advantage right now. They have the gold lead, they have the item advantage as well. They want to try and make sure that they take this item advantage and they take the fights instead, and that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for fights. They're looking to try and win this game sooner rather than later, before RUKH Esports can try and get some gold back. As Araki's already, you can see, playing super aggressive, knowing that he has that dash back again. But this time S2G Esports might just look to try and finish off this Tyrant this time around. The little bit of a reset comes in again. They do need to be really careful here, as Sora's going right into the back line again, kind of becoming bait with that invulnerability. The Tyrant is slain in the end. The ultimate comes back again thanks to Dora. The double shield for Sora in the end does get taken down, but there's 3 kills, and Rekna's looking to dash back in to make sure they get another. They're not going to get any more. That's a 3-for-1 trade at the more. Sora with that double ultimate in the end, thanks to Doria's ultimate as well. They're going to look to try and finish this game right here, right now. They don't really have the minions. They have 1 minion left alive. They're looking to try and end it, but they can't. The defense comes in for RUKH Esports. There's another minion wave coming. 10 seconds left for S2G Esports to book their tickets into the semi-finals, and that's exactly what they will do. GG's to S2G Esports. They will go and be our 3rd team in the semi-final.
So the Turkey region taking the revenge onto the Eastern European region, going in as their 3rd semi-finalist. So obviously there's only 1 more place, which is what the next matchup is going to determine. But again, that was not as clean as the first game, because obviously still some kills on the board. Like you said, Stu, a little bit of overconfidence coming from the side of S2G. But I think RUKH Esports going into that knew they were in like deep water going against this top-seeded Turkish team, and just having all that experience from multiple MOBAs, from multiple lands, and just fantastic teamwork. So Arakizaro really putting the leadership to a test there.
Yeah, you can see Arakizaro going to his teammates there with a little bit of a fist pump as well. They know that they played that game extremely well. You know, the first game definitely a lot cleaner than the second one, but even in the second game as well, they were able to play around these objectives so well. You know, they're able to take these objectives, secure the objectives, even though they did get 1 stolen in that second game, but it didn't really matter in the end, because again, they're using these objectives as a bit of a bait. They're getting that early game lead by taking the towers, taking the kills, and then they're using these big objectives, these major objectives that are spawning, and basically saying to RUKH Esports, hey, come to us. You need to try and contest these objectives or you're just going to lose the game. And instead they use it to their advantage, and Kostra and also Rekna in the end as well, just playing super aggressive on these assassins and doing really well in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, it really strikes me, because one of the surprise picks I saw for RUKH Esports there, and I thought did really well, was Xiao Chao, the one with the Hello Kitty skin that you loved there, Stu. So I really think the team should go forward and pick this one up, especially when it's against Amai in the mid lane, because we saw quite a few pickups, because Xiao Chao has some fantastic range, and then she also has that AoE ult. So if you get close to her, she's going to even knock you up with her second ability, use that clearing from a first ability or use that ultimate, just lay down the smackdown with all that magic damage as well. And as you can see, 26.6k damage, the most on the side of RUKH Esports. But then if we look over to the side of S2G, there is almost a doubling of that damage from the Nakaruru, and you can kind of see why Kostra loves this pick, as we saw in that regional split, the Open Series Grand Final as well. So 40.6% damage dealt there. So I can honestly think that maybe it's going to be Kostra, potentially see the Rekna get the MVP thanks to that triple crucial crowd control as well. But again, still great efforts from S2G to completely decline any jungle objectives over to the side of RUKH Esports.
Yeah, I believe it was closer in the end as well. Again, not having a single death in this game. That means in both of these games in this best of 3, he didn't die a single time. Playing Derenji in both of the games as well. And honestly having a pretty flawless victory for himself. But it all started really in this early game with S2G doing really well to catch out Royal in this clash lane and doing a really well thought out tower dive as well, using that Sora invulnerability to juggle the tower aggro. And this is where Rakizora went a little bit too far, a little bit too aggressive, which we did see a few times happen in this game. But it didn't really matter for S2G. You know, they had the confidence. We've mentioned already, they have the experience and everything else. And I feel like overall, they'll be really happy with this first series of this LAN.
Absolutely. I mean, it's pretty much a clear win for them because, like I was saying, going into the series, I didn't expect any more than a 2-0 because of obviously S2G being the victors of their bracket in the Open Series Split 1. But then obviously knowing that Major Pride beat RUKH Esports 4-0, I wasn't really holding on to much hope for them. But I really liked this team combo better in Game 2. Zhongfei once again having another game on the board, still 100% pick rate in the Honor of Kings Open Series regional finals. But just seeing just the pain game come from the side of S2G, and it's actually Sora picking up the MVP. So not Kostra, not Rekna, but the bait himself with the Death on Sunset. Sora 6 picking up the MVP in Game 2, giving the Clash lane some game.
Yeah, I mean, the bait in the end, Mr. Baitman himself, Sora in that clash lane, doing extremely well. I mean, the double ultimate in the end as well, you know, being able to get that reset thanks to Rakizoro's ultimate as well. The double ultimate in the end, just being, like you mentioned, that bait. I think he did really well to kind of zone the side of RUKH Esports away from these objectives. He was dashing in, he was playing that over-aggressive play style, but he knew he had his ultimate for safety. He knew that he could get away, and he was just doing that for kind of information for his team. Which was really nice and really clever for Sora in the end. But yeah, as you mentioned, you know, the MVP could have gone to Rekno, could have gone to Kostra, it could have gone to anyone, to be fair. But we have the interview ready now with one of the members of S2G Esports. So let's go and have a listen.
أهلا فيكم باليوم الثالث هون في بيكسل في أبو ظبي، واليوم حيكون عندنا مقابلة مع عراقي زورو، هو لاعب عراقي موجود مع الاس 2 جي والفريق التركي طبعا اللي اليوم سيطر على مباراته ضد رخ، فحنسأله بالانجليزي وحنترجم لكم بالعربي. عراقي زورو, first of all, congratulations on the win. That was a very convincing win, especially in the first game where you guys didn't lose a single kill. Was there a certain strategy? Was this something you prepared for RUKH specifically, or was just, you know, your certain draft in that game?
No, honestly, we're just playing our own game. Our own preparations just continued through. We didn't have a lot specifically prepared for this team. We knew that we were a much better team, and so we just stuck to our guns and played our game. And as you could see, that we did end up executing better than them.
And going into the second game, did you guys wanted to change anything, or you just continued with what works with you?
No, honestly, I mean, the first game it worked really well, and if it's not broken, don't fix it kind of mentality is how we went into the second game. And again, we just trusted ourselves being a better team, and we just played our game.
يعني سألته أنا سؤالين. أول شيء المباراة الأولى شو صار معاكم؟ ما خسرتوا ولا لاعب، مباراة كنتم مسيطرين عليها. قال لي هاي يعني إحنا لعبنا جيمنا صراحة وأدينا وعملنا اللي علينا اللي إحنا متدربين عليه. والجيم الثاني برضو ما كان عندنا أي تغييرات جذرية، ولكن إحنا برضو ويترستد يعني وثقوا بنفسهم وخططهم ودخلوا المباراة بكامل قوتهم. طيب, going into the second match now, you have the semi-final, which is gonna be probably against AG or RUKH MENA. First of all, who do you prefer to play against?
Well, AG are probably the favorites in this tournament, so I think we want to prove ourselves as the best in this event, so we would prefer to play against them, even though it's definitely going to be a tougher matchup. Like I said, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and in this tournament they are, as far as everyone has been expecting coming into the tournament, are the best, so we want to play against them and prove ourselves.
اوكي سو انا سالته انه برضه مين تتوقع يتاهل ومين تحب تلعب بمباراه النصف نهائي. حكى لي بحب او بفضل اني العب ضد اي جي لانه هو الفريق الاقوى برايه والكل حاط عينه عليه طبعا، فهو بالنسبه له انه العب ضد الفريق الاقوى عشان اثبت اني انا اقوى من الاقوى، فلذلك هاي هي استراتيجيتهم، بفضل انه يلعب ضد الفريق الاقوى. And did you guys do any certain preparation for that match or you want to keep it a secret?
No, obviously, I don't want to talk strategy too much. I would say that coming into it, we just made sure that we were in the right mentality coming in, and that our preparation were on point when it comes to drafts, when it comes to our in-game strategy. And when playing against a team that you don't know too much about, like RUKH Sport, since we don't know too much about them, they're not from our region and such, we have surface level kind of knowledge about them. You gotta just focus on yourself and prepare for the best in that way.
طبعا سالته اذا في تحضير معين عامله ضد فريق اي جي، حكى لي لا، احنا يعني بالذات برضه زي رخ ما كان عندنا خبره كافيه عن مبارياتهم اللي لعبوها، فلذلك احنا بس حضرنا احنا شو اللي شاطرين فيه واحنا شو القويين فيه، وهذا الاشي اللي انطبق عندهم في هذه المباراه. And okay, one more question is how long you've guys been practicing for this tournament specifically as this roster, current roster?
So with this current roster, we've been playing for maybe 2 months now. I'm not quite sure. It's been like a month and a half, 2 months. We played through the Turkish qualifiers is how we got here. We were the Turkish champions. So on this road to this event, yeah, I would say it's been a month and a half, about 2 months for now.
Month and a half. Okay, and do you have any last word for your opponents next game?
Be ready for us, I guess. We would like to show everyone, like I said, that we are the best in this tournament, and I hope we have the best of luck. Other than that, thank you to the fans cheering us on, and I hope for their continued support.
طبعا سألته هون سؤال إذا كم صار لهم بتدربوا مع بعض، وحكى لي تقريبا من شهر ونص لشهرين بهذا الروستر الحالي. وآخر إشي سألته سؤال إنه هل في كلمة بحب يوجهها لخصمه في المباراة الجاية، حكى لي لا، بس كونوا مستعدين لنا لأنه إحنا جاهزين وجايين وعيننا على البطولة، وبيحب يشكر مشجعينه ومتابعينه برضه في كل أنحاء العالم. Thank you so much RUKH Zoro for this interview. شكرا طبعا متابعينا. حنرجع لاستوديو التحليل. عندك يا زيكا.
Great to hear from Iraqi Zoro, a player that it's so humble. He's so down to earth as well, a player that I've seen before at LAN. And it's great to see him back at a LAN environment as well. It's great to see him again. You can see that he was talking about kind of preparations against RUKH Esports, which was a little bit difficult for them because they didn't really have a lot to go by. So they were kind of sticking to their guns, sticking to what they were comfortable with. And that's exactly what worked out in the series.
Absolutely, and I liked the fighting words for the whoever's going to be victor of the next game. But like Iraqi Zoro says, the favorites definitely are All Gaming Hong Kong, and he did say if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So S2G really have some words for their potential next opponent in the tomorrow's series against whoever wins this next series. But again, the roster only being together for 2 months is very impressive as well, and it really shows you the playability and the skill of these players that have already been to numerous lands through numerous MOBAs as well. So it's definitely a props to them.
No, definitely huge props to S2G Esports, a huge props to their behind the scenes as well. But as you mentioned, they'll be playing again tomorrow in the semi-final against whatever team is going to be winning our next series, which is AG, HK or RUKH MENA as well. Again, another exciting series that we have looking forward as well. But yeah, just another word for S2G Esports. I think that going forward, they're probably going to be a lot more, I guess, prepared in a way. They said that it's probably going to be a lot more challenging as well. They already mentioned that they think that AG, HK are probably going to be favorites in the tournament, which is kind of what we were expecting going into this as well, with how much experience and how much class they have on their team as well. But we're going to go to a break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, it will be our last quarterfinal of the tournament, HoK versus MENA. We'll see you in a few minutes.
I heard there's a mermaid in this area.
Out of 10 Navinians, 11 would tell you that they've heard the mermaid singing.
I wouldn't mind hearing it too.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la.
Eastern Region's Chamber of Commerce sale. Take a look.
This one. Or this one. Ow!
What a dumbass.
A fluorescent stone!
You're no good at this.
I've been noticed! Trying to fight!
Hey! What are you doing?
It's just you and me! You give that back!
That's a pair for me.
Again?
Your turn.
Come back and fight!
It's the kid who stole the ship! Get him! He's over there!
Change your run?
So you're not with them? Ladies first!
No!
Hey, wait up!
Where's that bomb I got from Mr. Hookah?
sir. Nice. Looks like the safest place turns out to be right under your enemy's nose.
Nope, I just got tired of running. The coast is clear now. Let's go. Huh? It's locked.
Ah!
Welcome back to the Open Series EMEA Finals here. My name is Stuart, and joining me for the second series of the day is, of course, going to be Blam. And after that first series, as you mentioned as well, we're kind of blazing through today much quicker than we were yesterday, which is kind of crazy to think about. But this next series is one that we have both been excited for quite some time, and especially you, Blam, with AGHK. This is a roster full of experience, especially in Honor of Kings as well. Their experience and their LAN competitiveness in just Honor of Kings alone is so much than anyone else in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, a few of their rosters, was on the KIC 2023 roster for one team who didn't drop a single round. So 10 rounds in, they didn't drop a single one, but they did, however, drop a single round against the Vicious as a part of the AGHK umbrella. But there we go. Looking back over to the match we just got done with, if anybody is just joining the stream, S2G with a quicker than quick, faster than fast Lightning McQueen 2-0 against RUKH Esports, and we're just waiting for AGHK versus Axe MENA to be, hopefully, maybe still have some MENA representation in that semi-finals. But as far as we are aware, and just like Iraqi Zoro did say, they are the favorites in this Open Series regional finals. So I think there's just a little bit of hopium there for me to say that Axe MENA, but I don't want to count them out, to be honest, because they could surprise us, just like Major Pride just surprised us yesterday. So
yeah, I mean, anything can happen. We've mentioned it already, but with this LAN environment, with this tournament as well, it's still quite early days as well for most of these players. But I think for a team for like AJHK, you know, having that crazy experience, you know, 3 of these members of this roster were at the Honor of Kings Championship, I can't get my words out, in 2023, and also performed in the Asian Games as well in 2022. So this is a team that has been playing Honor of Kings for quite some time, and they have so much experience. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few crazy picks that they have up their sleeves as well, because there have been some definitely unique picks that they've been picking over in that wildcard qualifier compared to our other teams in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, they had the likes of, I think they was the only team to pick up sort of like Kaiyun in the support lane as well. But again, they are just on to the flashy picks in the jungle. But we are going to go over first to hear it straight from the horse's mouth in the AGHK video. So let's see what they have to say.
Hi everybody, my name is Devo. I'm playing for AG Hong Kong. So now I'm going to introduce our teams. Myself, Devo, as lead lane, and our farm lane, Zait, our jungle, Marsotis, dash lane, Snow, and our support, Jingling. Yeah, I can say our biggest challenges we face is simply the time difference between your region and Chengdu in China, because we need to have F match after the midnight, and it's both it's challenging to both our physical and mental status, and we try to maintain the best ability of ourselves and rest well before the match. Our strategy is simply practice makes perfect. Actually, we practice for the whole days right before the matches. I think our strength is that we are familiar with each other in our teams, and we are willing to put everything on the tables and solve it together. The atmosphere in my team is quite nice and very comfortable. But actually, we argued yesterday for some questions. But it's meaningful because we actually put everything on the table and make the quick conclusion. Our ultimate dream is entering into the NFC, defeat other teams as many as possible, even we aim for the champion of NFC. Our team has poured their hearts into every match, and now it's time to show the world what we are made of. Watch the podcast and be part of our charm.
Brilliant to hear there from Devil, and this is the roster as well for AG Hong Kong. We've got Snow, we've got Myostis, we got Devil, Zeiss, and Ching Ling as well. Again, a roster that you are very familiar with, Bland, with casting the wildcard. They were mentioning how playing in the wildcard was mentally and physically draining for them because of the time difference. And to be honest, they probably have to maybe travel the longest distance as well for this LAN, and they probably have the biggest time difference out of anyone else in this tournament, but they have the experience. We've been talking about it already, you know, the international experience as well at the Honor of Kings Championship, the Asian Games as well. This is a roster that has expectations through the roof with them.
Absolutely. I mean, they have one Devil on the team by name, but by nature, after watching those wildcard qualifiers, there is a full team of Devils in AGHK. But looking over to Axe MENA there, we have Adam in the Clash lane, we have 7M Dan in the jungle, Travis as the support, Omar in the mid lane, and then we have Khalid in the farm lane. So in terms of what Axe MENA got up to in the actual open split series was that they actually didn't have as smooth as ride as their counterpart, which was Stalwart Esports. They actually went 2-1 against R2G Esports and then 2-1 against Twisted Mind. So not the most confident in that open series split we saw there. There was a little bit of a kind of like, oh, okay, we've gave up one round. That could potentially go over to the favor to their opponents there and then, but fortunately they made it into the open series regional finals as well, just coming in as the runner-ups, because obviously Stalwart Esports bet them a whopping 4-0. And we saw yesterday Stalwart went against the other wildcard team and lost 2-0. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Axe MENA can actually continue that 2-1 fashion in this next best of 3.
Yeah, I think losing the kind of, I guess, momentum by losing that final against Stalwart as well might have been a bit of a hit to them. Their goal was to probably get to this tournament in the first place, but then you just hope and pray that if you are a second seed, you just dodge AGHK. Like every one of the second seeds coming into this tournament, we're just like, okay, we might have a chance against the other first seed from other regions, but please don't put us against AGHK. And as soon as Axe MENA get drawn against AGHK, I don't know what their reactions were like, but they must have been, well, probably happy as well, because they get to have such a huge test against AGHK, but they were probably hoping for maybe a bit of an easier time as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they share the same sentiment as the Eastern Europeans, they're all about their experience. And like we say, the first matchup tomorrow will be obviously Major Pride against the Vicious. So again, lots of experience for Major Pride to be had there. But like you were saying, I can imagine what my reaction would have been if I pulled AGHK out of that pool of first seeds in that draw to see who we got matched up in the quarterfinals. But I hope that it's probably not the same shared reaction as what Axe MENA had. Hopefully it was a little bit more confident than what mine would be. But yeah, seeing these guys through the wildcard qualifiers is definitely nothing to underestimate. What AGHK are absolutely a force to be reckoned with.
What would you say coming into this series, kind of, I guess, the strengths in a way from AGHK? You know, coming in, obviously, with you being able to cast them, I believe, in the semifinals as well. You also cast them as well. You know, what makes them such a good team, and what probably makes them the favorites in this tournament compared to everyone else?
I think it's just their previous experience, to be honest, because obviously not only have they got experience and now within the global scene, they've had the experience against some of the best teams with it before our scene was even a thing. So being able to participate and keep their own up in the KIC region as well, and obviously the KIC tournament was definitely something that they could be proud of. But we are going to be going over to see about the video from Axe MENA now, so hearing the opponents from AGHK.
Hello everyone, I'm X Travis and I'm playing for X MENA. To start with, our jungler, which is X Hamdan. Our XP laner or solo lane is Adam. Our gold lane, X Khalid. Our two roamers, X Mado and X Big Mom. And our mage is X Amar. And our journey was very tough. And the biggest hard time was when in the semi-finals. The thing that we did, that we stayed positive all the time, and we made sure that everyone gave his best in the game. During the tournament, our plan was to play individuals and everyone with his skills. But later on, during the tournament, we realized that it's not about the skills, it's about the team participation. Our team work well together. We can change plans very quickly and stay positive when things get hard. That's what helped us to win. As we got closer to the regional finals, we were very excited, but that didn't interrupt us to stay focused, that we are facing really hard and tough squads. So we stayed positive, and that helped us to go through it. As a captain, my ultimate dream is to make my team very famous and to make them champions in all other tournaments, not just this tournament. Don't miss a moment of the action. Watch the broadcast and support our team in the regional finals.
That was Travis there, the captain of Axe MENA, talking about how his road and how their road of Axe MENA was a little bit of a struggle, especially in that semi-final. Losing that first game against Twisted Minds must have been really difficult, but he said that his team kept the right mentality. His key team made sure that they were under the right pressure, and they made sure that they were able to keep on the same page as well. And that's exactly what he was talking about as well. He said it's not only about the individual talent, it's also about playing as a team. And that's something that definitely has been highlighted over the other quarterfinals so far in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't just have one person on your team be the 1v9 carry, unfortunately, because this is a LAN, it is a competitive scenario. So if that was the case, I'm pretty sure they would basically pick up anybody and just have one all-star player on the team, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. And I think obviously, even though there's quite a few all-star players on the side of AGHK, they all generally play very well together, as we saw heard from Devil in the intro video, saying that it's a very quite nice environment, but they have argued for the first time recently. But he thinks that's a good thing, because obviously then you're able to get to conclusions quicker that way. So if there's anything sort of like area rating and no one's sort of making this thing aware, then I can obviously chip away at you, and then obviously chip away at the morale of the team. But it's getting that out in the air and sort of addressing it when it needs to is probably showing a tried and tested feature of a great team. And we've already seen AGHK have create such feats within Honor of Kings, even on the Chinese server and client as well, under the branch of one team. But yeah, Axe MENA, like you said, had a bit of a rocky start. They almost lost in their Open Split series against a familiar team for those that watched the Series 1 Invitational Invitational, which was Twisted Minds. Again, a team that wasn't able to pick up a single win in their Season 1 Invitational run, just like Major Pride, but I would assume that like all these teams, they've also have improved to the level, or if not, a little bit better than Major Pride.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big difference with Major Pride as well, like you mentioned, going from not win a single game at Invitational Season 1 to now going into the semi-final, which we'll be seeing tomorrow as well. But yeah, I mean, Axe MENA definitely have a mountain to climb in this game. They've got an absolute hill and a half to climb, really. I don't even know if it's a mountain at this point, to be fair, because they are up against one of the toughest opponents in EMEA and from the wild card as well. And your personal opinion, Blam, watching this team and kind of the expectations as well, how much of a chance does Axe MENA have? Let's be real here. Let's put some curses onto AG Hong Kong. Let's try and make this series maybe a little bit more competitive than maybe it might be when we get into the games. How much of a chance do you think they have?
I mean, if we're going to be real, brutal and honest, I'd probably say maybe I'll give them a very charitable 25% chance of winning this matchup.
That's higher than I thought.
I don't think there's a massive amounts that they can do to go against AGHK, because as we've already seen, AGHK beat the Vicious, who probably beat one of the best teams we thought going into this regional finals, being Stalwart Esports. Obviously, they had to perform against such a great wildcard qualifying team, but then we look at S2G and we actually think, you know what, maybe S2G played that game a little bit better. Obviously, it's against an easier opponent, but mentality-wise and stuff like that, they seem to have had a few more struggles in terms of making sure they have a central leadership rather than 5 leaders, which can always be to a detriment of the team. And for them to overcome that, I think they could probably actually do very well against AGHK if they are going to be the winners of this series.
No, yeah, I think in my opinion, you have to go kind of, I guess, full force really for Axe MENA. I think the big thing is that you kind of need to stay grouped if you're Axe MENA. We've been seeing it before in the last series with S2G, where they were able to rotate the map as a team, rotate around the map, play as a team. And that's something that I think Axe MENA need to do in this series, is kind of catch AG Hong Kong off guard. They need to catch them off guard. They can't just play a simple game here, Axe MENA. They have to have something up their sleeves to try and win through this, because as we mentioned already, there's no lower bracket after this. If you lose this series, you are out of the EMEA finals and you won't be able to get that ticket to Malaysia, which I'm pretty sure AG Hong Kong will be looking to try and get. But also we have to mention as well that with the expectation on their shoulders as well, AG Hong Kong, that they also need to perform as well up to that expectations. Everyone is probably thinking that they're going to be the favorites, but at the same time, that could allude to a lot of pressure on your shoulders, as we haven't got much time left to wait here. We are going to be getting into the draft to start things off. A few bans already, the Ali and the Mai banned away for Axe, and Lam and Byron being banned away for AG Hong Kong.
Yeah, so with those first 2 bans on the side of Axe MENA, you can kind of see where they're going with these bans. They are looking to cut down that flashy champion pool from AGHK, because, again, this is a team that love those flashy plays. They love the likes of the Lam. They love the Mai. Just anything that can be dazzling is definitely the prize that they want to see and want to be stealing on these drafts here. But already we see that Axe MENA pick up the Dolia there. We've already seen it once before in the last series, where the Dolia just wasn't optimized or paired with anything great to make use of that double ultimate. But then looking over to the side of AGHK, the Princess Frost finally makes her debut onto the actual Gorge and not sitting in the naughty corner that is the ban phase.
Yeah, I believe we've barely seen Princess Frost. It has been banned quite a few times. I believe we saw it once yesterday, if I remember. I can't remember who it was, but I remember Princess Frost being played once, because I remember the huge, massive ultimate when they were defending. Yeah, so I think we've seen it once.
It was Stalwart.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, we haven't really seen it too much. It has been in the ban corner quite a lot as well. It is going to be responded by the Hino as well, which we did see in the jungle yesterday. So there is a possibility that maybe that might be in the jungle as well, but pretty standard picks overall, you know, nothing too crazy for these two teams so far. And like I said, I feel like MENA need to come up with something big in this game. You know, they need to come up with some sort of pocket pick, something that they've been practicing on, to try and make AG Hong Kong a little bit uncomfortable.
Yep, and then obviously towards the side of AGHK, their last little bands is there to just diminish the farm lane hero pool there, and obviously the Chow. It wouldn't be a ban phase without the Chow getting hit by that ban hammer. But I do have to say, oh, okay, the Junk Fei as well. That is also a notable ban because this hero hasn't been banned much. He's always just been on the board, and I believe that is the first ban. It's the first no-no for Mr. Jung Fei. But I do have to comment on the Hino pick. It seems to be already, it's having an infamous appearance within the EMEA Final Split 1 because every team that's picked it, no matter the position, have lost. It was the reason Major Pride lost in game 1 of day 1, and then Beşiktaş Esports picked it up as well. I believe it was in game 3, and they lost that one. So it's a little bit of a bad juju there pick by the team of MENA, but maybe they've got what it takes to make it work, and potentially with that Marco Polo paired with the Dolia, we could be seeing some dazzling ultimates come from the Marco Polo pickup.
Yeah, with the farm lane pool being cut a little bit short there with Lady Sun and also Dorenji being banned away, Marco Polo is the choice here for MENA. They have to round out their composition as well with either a mid laner or a jungler, depending on where this Hino is going to be picked up. We're going to be seeing anything else. There's a pick there for MENA, their last pickup as well, and then we'll have to try and round out the comp here for AGHK.
Absolutely, the Kaiser pick coming up through there, and I think that is, if I'm correct, it's Han Shi, I believe, on the side of MENA. Again, the first time this hero has actually been picked in this whole tournament, and then to synergize with that Kaiser because the Dolia has been taken onto the side of MENA. They go for the Sun Bin. So again, this is another hero that has a great synergy with Kaiser. It's a tried and tested synergy comp for AGHK because we've seen it in Brazil, we've seen it in KIC. It's definitely something that works because it's back again to be used on the side of AGHK.
Yeah, we've seen it already today, the Sunbin, not today, sorry, in this tournament. We've seen Sunbin already, you know, with the movement speed, helping with the rotations around the map as well. But yeah, the first time I'm seeing the Hanjin for sure, so that'll be really interesting. Maybe that's the pocket pick that they were looking for, MENA. But let's head into game number 1 here. MENA versus AG Hong Kong, the favorites of the tournament against MENA. Can MENA pull off a miracle and a half here and upset the entire world by taking down one of the tournament favorites?
And this is what I really love about AGHK. I pointed it out to Yuko when I was casting with her through the wildcard qualifiers. They get themselves in order for us. They're all in order, prettily and uniform, right on the side of my screen, and nothing makes my my OCD of Honor of Kings happy knowing they're all in the right position there. So thank you, AGHK, once again for making me a happy caster. But we'll have
to do that in the future, right? We'll have to tell the teams, like, can you all get in the right order? You know,
absolutely.
Clash lane at top, jungle mid lane, and then farm lane, and then roaming.
We need
support.
to teach him a few things, don't we, Stu, from our other game. I think a little bit of etiquette from the other game would help.
the ordering definitely triggers both of us, that's for sure, because it's so difficult to kind of compare. You're like, okay, so that's a Clash laner at the top there, and then where's the Clash laner on the other side? Oh, yeah, it's right down the bottom there. What's the gold difference like and everything? Yeah, makes it a lot easier for us casters as well. But actually, MENA making a bit of an easy start here. 3-man tower dive into this bot side, and it is a trade kill in the end, 1-for-1. But MENA already playing with confidence in this early game, going for an early tower dive.
Very aggressive 3v1 dive there onto the Hu Yi, knowing that Sunbin is pretty much left this hero down on his lonesome down in the bot lane, but HoYi is definitely be able to maintain that farm lane all on his Jack Jones. He can, but we have AGHK with a big presence up onto the blue side, blue buff, so already helping themselves there. Not quite getting it, but they have a few seconds. They were a little bit too early to procure that Sage buff for themselves, but fair play to MENA with that 3v1 dive there in the bot lane. Other teams that going against such a titan like AGHK would know they have plenty to lose, but having that mentality to be like, yo, no, there is a chance that we can win this. Blam gave us a 25% win rate chance, so we're going to take it.
Yeah, you can tell that Xingling is doing a lot of aggression. The ultimate actually from HoYi actually hits the mid lane. You can see on the mini map as well. There might be a death. There is a death in the way in the mid lane. I saw the mini map. I saw the HoYi ultimate from downtown hitting onto high note in the mid lane. And that is what this hero brings to a team like AGHK when they have the right, coordination, where they have the right attitude to be able to do this as well. Look at that, the ultimate into mid lane, the frozen ultimate as well to just stack the CC on top of each other. Really, really smart there from AGHK to get back on the board here. But as I was mentioning, there was a lot of roaming happening here from Xingling, which is putting HoYi a bit of a disadvantage in the bot side. But there's such a huge advantage when it comes to the jungle because there's so much invading happening, so much aggression happening in this early game by AGHK.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Zaze is being left down in the bot lane, but his ultimate being used as a utility to close these kills across the map just really shows that, one, he's able to just hold that lane on his own, but he's also got the map awareness to know, like, right, okay, Hino is in the mid lane, I'm going to stun him. We saw that stun. That stun felt like a lifetime to me. I felt like I was getting grey hairs watching it, the duration just come off cooldown. But not only that, he had the Winter's Coming ultimate from Princess Frost, and then not only that, he had the damage over time, just a countdown from Sunbin. So regardless, Hino was just gonna die, but it was a very well played there from AGHK from across the map. A little bit of synergy going on from lane to lane, which is just beautiful and what you want to see in this best of 3 between the wildcard winners and the runners-up for the MENA. But almost getting caught out there is Snow, but the death on Sunset comes through whilst we have Kaiser come around as well, giving him time to clean up. 7M Dan goes down as well, so that is a takedown and a revenge for HoYi in that bot lane, and Adam is the next to be served up, being sliced like a little cheese board by AGHK.
Oh, beautiful there. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice play in the clash lane as well. You can tell that, there's more action happening in this bottom side as well. And it looks like AGHK are kind of on the wrong side at the moment as Khalid is playing super aggressive. Ooh. The reset of the ultimate nearly coming out on top, but it's actually a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. And it looks like it might actually be MENA coming out on top. But here comes Meiosis. Julia, you need to run away. You're running the wrong way, buddy. That's not going to do anything for you. Yes. Wait a second. A few extra dashes, but no, the kills have come in at the end there from Princess Frost. But that synergy that you was talking about there with the Doria and also the ultimate coming in there from the clash lane are nearly worked out on top there for MENA.
Yeah, the Marco Polo really helped with that double ultimate. It obviously cleaned what could potentially have been a 2-0 clear for them. But Adam may be a suspected victim of being a piece of cheese again onto the board. He is very low, and the dashes just keep coming through with both of these. And it is a duck rat race going on in that clash lane, and does see the conclusion over to the side of AGHK. If anything, this match is very fun. Not quite conventional, but very, very fun to watch so far on the side of AGHK and MENA here. He gets to recall back for there. That's thanks to Hino's ultimate as well. So again, a great scapegoat when you're getting baited into those 1v3 turret dives. However, they do pick up that turret in the clash lane. So first turret does go over to AGHK in the clash lane, but they have to be careful. Snow has to get out of this one alive, but is able to collapse onto Travis and Omar. But Travis manages to jump out as well. We do miss across the map kill for Kaiser onto the Marco Polo as they are trying to assault this mid lane. But looking for MENA, they clean up the minion wave there in the mid lane.
HoK again landing another ultimate from downtown. I saw it on the mini up again. Zai's hitting that ultimate in the mid lane onto Marco Polo, and Kaiser is just able to follow up afterwards. This pick has been so crazy for AGHK so far. The long range ultimates on this hero is just out of this world. When you don't have that to keep an eye on, when you don't have the mobility to be able to escape, and if you don't react in time as well, because Marco Polo does have that teleport ability and does probably have the flash as well, so you have multiple ways. As another pick gets picked off here with AGHK. 3,000 goldie now for AGHK, and they're dominating the jungle at the moment for MENA. They just do not want them to get a single bit of gold.
No, so Tyrant goes over to AGHK, so it's obviously just going to serve them very well in this mid lane fight. Mayeen does dive a little bit too far, not back from the Kaiser as well, but the CCMU comes through, but they do run him down a little bit too quick for Omar, to even escape on that high no pick. Unfortunately for MENA, they are currently only sitting on 2 kills, and it was the 2 kills that managed to pick up down in the bot lane as well, so they are still yet to try and add on to what seems to be ages ago since they got their first kills on the board. And this Princess Frost is just showing that it is a great pick. See you later by that ultimate there. That was going nowhere anytime soon from Zays up in the Clash lane as he does a macro push to give more dominance in that Clash lane. We see 7M Dan may potentially get caught out here. They managed to catch him in the brush. That was probably not a wise thing to do, knowing that he has no first tier turret in either the mid lane or the Clash lane to retreat to, only the second tier, but still manages to escape. Marco Polo manages to take that bot lane turret though from AGHK, so all these minor victories is just the things that MENA have to keep in mind. Absolutely, that HoK ultimate is like the devil on Devil's shoulders. Like, that's my Q call, that's my call point to drop my Winters coming. But there goes Kaiser going in for another kill, but it is HoK that does pick up the kill onto Dolia, so there's not going to be any double ultimates coming through for another 20 seconds on the side of MENA. But in that time, we do have the Tyrant up and the Overlord, but they are on a little bit of a shaky timer. It looks like AGHK are going to do enough damage to be able to take up this Tyrant again. So second Tyrant over to the side of AGHK, whilst Kaiser is looking to farm up that Sage buff all by himself, because he is tanky boy now. He has that ultimate that gives him an 8 seconds invulnerability, and then another kill coming through from Zays as well on the HoK. The farm lane is getting fat, and Kaiser is picking up the kill onto Mayeen as well. There is a barrage of attacks from all different sectors here on the side of AGHK, really showing what a unit of a team they are as they push the second tier turret in the Clash lane and potentially that higher ground turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, really good there for AGHK to take the extra towers. That tier 2 tower is just going to go down as well in that bottom, in that top side. They're trying to get a kill back at MENA, but they cannot get anything at all. This hasn't been as dominant as what I thought it would be. I thought it maybe be a little bit more dominant, especially in the early game. They're definitely playing it cool, calm, and collected. AGHK, I feel like in this game, they're not playing crazy aggressive. They're not going for, you know, the quick and easy, you know, sub 10-minute match win if they want to try and go for that one. But it's still, you know, only 2 kills for RUKH MENA, and you can tell by the rotations around the map from AGHK that they're able to just dominate the entire map at the moment. There's only the high ground towers left for RUKH MENA to fall back to. And you can see now that the jungle is all but theirs now for AGHK. They don't even need to take their own jungle camps. They've got all of them up. They could just take the enemy jungle camps instead. And that's exactly what they're doing at the moment. A bit of a dive here as a shutdown actually comes in there in the mid lane. But they're trying to get a few more kills, but I don't think they can get any more. They get 1 kills, but they lose 3, nearly 4 as well in that mid lane. And that means they have a bit of advantage now to try and push down these towers. They have all 3 lanes pushing in. They have the clash lane, the mid lane, and also the farm lane pushing in underneath the tower. The ultimate comes in, the chain CC onto the high no, goes down, another kill, and they can just, if they want to, they can go back and take the objectives, but they just want more kills. They want more objectives.
Yep, they definitely want to stack it up, and it could be the means to the end here for RUKH MENA as AGHK are at the door. They have taken 1 high ground turret, 2 high ground turret as well. So that mid lane team fight was able to wipe out 3 of RUKH MENA, and it was with great purpose. There goes the HoYi ult as well. There is no winters come in, but there is a death by sunset coming through from the lane. Crucial crowd control once again from Sunbin, and there's a reason why they picked up this Sunbin pick, because of the synergy with this Kaiser, enabling him to just get in, get sticky. We know this hero is a sticky guy, and with those minions coming around, it is pretty much the single last lifeline for RUKH MENA as they're all wiped out. Double kill goes over to Kaiser, and it is a crystal takedown by AGHK.
I mean, pretty clean from AGHK in the end. Bit of a slow early game. They were kind of feeling themselves a little bit in that one, but as soon as they got the lead, they knew exactly what to do with it. They got a little bit of an advantage in these lanes, especially with the HoYi as well. The ultimates from downtown really making a difference in this game. As soon as they got that advantage, they knew what to do with it. You can tell by the experience of this squad. They have that bit of a lead in the mid game. They have that little bit of a gold lead. They play aggressive. They play around their vision. They play in the enemy's jungle, and exactly what they're able to do. I believe a 12-minute closeout in the end. So not as crazy like a 10-minute game or anything like that, but close enough in the end, and still a pretty dominating performance by AGHK.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any of those Beşiktaş Esports 30-minute matches now going into the last match of the quarterfinals now, Stu. I don't think there's any point of us trying to fear those. Hope for what? 36 seconds of boredom? No, thank you. I'll stick with these 12-minute matches. But no, like you were saying in the game, AGHK wasn't really that super aggressive, because obviously the only real frontline they had was the Kaiser, and they had to wait till they have the Sunbin quite close by as well. But the overall domination, so yes, the aggression wasn't there, but the domination was definitely across the board, because all the jungle objectives went over to AGHK, all the turrets as well. I mean, they absolutely whittled them down. There was a great attempt by the Marco Polo and the Dolia on the side of RUKH MENA, getting them all the way to that second tier turret, but was not able to scathe that higher ground turret on the side of AGHK. But looking over at that, we have Myosotis on the no death run, Snow and Xingling on the no death run there. All fantastic, well played heroes in this one. Myosotis and Snow are no stranger to those MVP pickups, but looking at those stats, they are very, very close in the gold across both Zays, Myosotis, and Snow as well. And very, very well played on the side of AGHK in terms of just the resources being pulled together there. Again, damage dealt, huge damage from Kaiser, but also huge damage taken. That 27.4% of the damage overall taken is just huge on the side of AGHK.
Yeah, really big in the end. I really like the composition that AGHK brought out as well. So much crowd control, so much follow-up as well. With a team with this much experience, they know how to play each hero. They know how to play around the map, and they can do so so well in this whole game. As the highlights, it's probably just going to be a highlights of HoYi landed ultimate after ultimate. But it seemed like a pretty good start here for Axe MENA. Unfortunately, it was only a 1-for-1 trade in the bot side, but it kind of brought it to the thing I loved about Axe MENA is that they brought it to AGHK. They didn't play like super defensive. They didn't say like, oh, okay, you come to us, we'll try and hope that maybe you make a mistake. They were going for these crazy fights like this double ultimate here from Khaled, nearly making the play happen, and they would have won the 2 versus 2 as well in the bot lane if it wasn't for the rest of AGHK coming to save them as well. So they did bring the fight to AGHK, but AGHK proved that why they are a strong team and why they are one of the strongest teams in EMEA. Just really nice plays, really nice crowd control around these objectives, around these towers, and it was just so difficult for Axe MENA to deal with.
Yeah, we don't really see this much from some of the other teams where, like you saw the Kaiser go around completely at the back of the team fight. We normally always see when they are clubbed together, they all go from one direction. But it's clear that this is probably the thing that they need to adapt as a whole as the teams in the EMEA finals. Split 1 is that pincer movement between that teams and just squishing you in together like a little sandwich, like Myosotis did so many times and picked up the MVP in game 1. Like I said, Myosotis or Snow are no strangers to this MVP spot with that 909 KDA, 69.1k damage dealt as well. It's just incredible.
Yeah, really, really smart there from Myosotis, you know, especially on the Kaiser as well. I don't think we've seen him too much really in the jungle in this tournament, but showing how he can be such a strong jungler and still really good, even if he's maybe not as one of the like the flashiest heroes, I guess, that you can play. He's not like a flashy assassin or anything like that, but still showing that you can still perform on these heroes if you can perform right as well. You know, taking a brief look into the second game now, I mean, it's hard to really think of what Axe MENA can really do to try and bring this series back. You hate to say it, but AGHK are just a different beast to anyone else in this tournament.
Absolutely, but I mean, I think the Vicious definitely still have my heart because of that K-pop performance we saw on the stand. So with them being a wildcard team as well, AGHK, I kind of want to see that kind of performance, something a little bit of a cultural nod. So I'm like, I see what you did there, sir. But so far, none of that. But I can live and hope that there will be something in the future of some sort of performance. But before the next performance in game 2, which could be the last one, we are going to go for a short break. So make sure you don't go anywhere.
This one. Or this one. No!
What a dumbass.
A fluorescent stone!
You're no good at this.
I've been noticed! Time to fight!
Hey! What are you doing? Hey!
It's just you and me! You give that back!
That's a pair for me.
Again?
Your turn.
Come back and fight!
It's the kid who stole the ship! Get him! He's over there!
Change your run?
So you're not with them? Ladies first!
There he is!
Hey, wait up!
Where's that bomb I got from Mr. RUKH? Got it! Hey, stop! Firecracker!
A bomb!
Get them!
Leave them to me!
Get her too!
What a pain! Time to end this!
My senses can feel the suspense. Don't be tense, get off the fence. Strike them down with my fight sequence. Let me just take a bite out of all of their tricks. They might put me to the test, but I got finesse. And I feel the opposition, but it won't be for long. Let the story be written, we will riddle the wrongs. How did I get myself feeling better like this? My fate is hanging in the balance of the wind. Trouble's always knocking at my door like a songwriter. And that voice stronger.
Getting away!
You idiots! Get them!
Yes, sir. Nice! Looks like the safest place turns out to be right under your enemy's nose.
Nope, I just got tired of running. The coast is clear now. Let's go. Huh? It's locked.
Ah!
Welcome back to the EMEA Finals Open Series here. This could be our final game of the day, a much quicker day than yesterday, that's for sure, with the two tight series that we had in the quarterfinals yesterday. But in this series that we're covering at the moment, HK look all comfortable and all clean at the moment in this series, Blam.
Absolutely. Like I was saying in the introduction, and pretty much throughout the entire day, the AGHK being obviously the winner of the Wildcard qualifiers and having so much experience within Honor of Kings already, especially within such an experienced region and tournament like the KIC as well, is a hard thing for MENA to actually come up against as well. And they did, like you said, I am very proud of the team to bring in the fight to them, getting the first blood on the board. Not many teams can say that they made the first blood happen onto AGHK, so that was something that clearly the Hong Kong team wasn't expecting, which I really admire on the side of MENA.
Yeah, we definitely need to see more of that as well. More aggression, more of AXMENA trying to bring the game to AGHK. So because it does seem like that the support from AGHK does roam a lot more than most other supports as well. I feel like the support was never really in the farm lane most of that game, to be fair, whereas in the other games in these quarterfinals, we have seen roaming from the supports, but sometimes they have spent a bit of time in that farm lane as well. But we're going to start things off here with the draft. Arlie being banned away again here, as well as the Lamb on the side of AGHK. But instead of going for the Doria first pick, we're going for Mai as the first pick this time. So even more aggression here for AXMENA, looking to try and make the plays happen.
Yeah, it's really weird that the difference in these days, Arlie was nothing but picked yesterday and only banned once. And then today, it's just like, yeah, no, we're going to ban her for the majority of these games. I think she's come out once compared to the 4 times yesterday. So we're already seeing a little bit of different shift in the play style and the priority in these picks. But that's a big uh-oh on the side of AGHK. They've managed to secure the Dolia. However, onto the side of AXMENA, they do have the Zhongfei. And we know that all these teams love that hero because he has great sustain. He has massive shield. He's able to sort of deny those very clutch kills that you're really just holding onto and hoping that you can clear up the waves and the lane so you can continue aggressing the minion waves through. But we see the flashy Mai come through onto the side of AXMENA, and then we're getting the Renji come through as well. So they were probably hoping that they went for the Hu Yi again to sort of deny the Hu Yi ultimate. But over to the side of AGHK, they've gone for the late game farm lane that is a Lady Sun.
Yeah, pretty much 5 new picks already on both these sides, with the Doria switching sides as well. We've got the Lady Sun coming out, and 3 new picks for AXMENA this time around. And maybe this is the switch up that they need to try and turn things around. They are going to ban away the Kaiser as well, which had a really strong performance from Myostis as well, and also banning away the Yuhuan as well. So banning that one away. So 2 junglers banned away. They do still have a jungler to pick up themselves, AXMENA. We do have to bear that in mind as well. So with these 2 being banned away, maybe they have something else up their sleeves as a jungler. But Princess Foss is going to be locked in again for Devil. The thing is, this time is they don't really have the same setup that they did before. They don't have the Hu Yi anymore. Like you said, going for a more scaling farm laner with that Lady Sun in the bottom side of the map. So I'll be interested to see how they kind of adapt with not having that long range ultimate from Hu Yi this time around.
I don't think they need it. I mean, they've got the Dolia, they have the Princess Frost, so you're going to have that winter season strike twice in one game, or one little specter of a team fight. So you're going to have 2 AoE stuns to contest with, and as you can see, that is all going to be used to sort of zone and stop that Mai and the Zhongfei with those huge engages, because in the kit of all that team, all that they have is that the Durenji can cleanse whilst being in part of those what we could potentially see 2 massive Princess Frost ults. But you have the Musashi come through, which was literally going to be my next talking point for either AGHK or AXMENA. Again, another honing knock-up ultimate, and then they have that mighty Liam Po pick that we saw the vicious pickup yesterday to dominate Stalwart Esports in game 1.
The only thing that I'm seeing with AXMENA with this composition is engage, is in fight, is dive in, is just engage and do whatever you can, because they have so much diving potential. They have so much engage here on the side of AXMENA, and they're looking to bring the fight now to AGHK, which is really smart.
Menki comes through as well, so not quite the jungler I was thinking that AGHK was going to go for, because Jing's free. We have the like of plenty of the flashier junglers still free, like Nakaruru as well. There's plenty other junglers that could have been taken up there by the AGHK, but Menki being one of those tried and tested Chinese jungle picks is probably the reason why they've gone for it, because they could have picked up the Hanshin themselves and shown AXMENA how to play that hero. They could have gone for Zilong. They could have gone for Prince of Lanling as well, as we know that AGHK has picked that hero up a few times, but they go for the Menki. So we're going to be seeing some aggressive bubbles come through for the Menki and some great circles around. You're going to be seeing a little bit more of a... It looks like a tank, but is generally still can be quite flashy onto the side of AGHK. But the place that I'm really focusing on here is that Princess Frost and Dolia combo. Could be tricky here. But it's 2v1 against the Sage buff onto the Menki here, which is really interesting to see that Axe MENA are already losing their first blood again. So Axe MENA picked up first blood in game 1, but AGHK is like, nah, you brought the fight to us. We will take that one. And that's going to do nicely onto the Lady Sun as well in terms of scaling.
Yeah, I mean, Axe MENA going for something different. Again, this is something that they needed to do. This is something that kind of I was talking about, is that they need to do something different. They need to do something to try and catch out AGHK off guard. But unfortunately, going for a level 1 invade didn't really do that, unfortunately. They did steal away the blue buff in the end, but didn't even take anything else. They lost the kill for it in the end. And overall, not really a great trade for Axe MENA. But again, this is what their composition says to me, is like they want to go full-on aggression. You know, the Liam Po, the Mai being able to dive in as well. Look, they're just going to do this time and time again, but Travis diving a bit too far forward again, and unfortunately another mistake here for Axe MENA means that another kill is in the cards here for AGHK. The flash forward as well onto Khalid, another kill for AGHK. Zayas with the nice flash forward and a rocket downtown as well to get another kill. 3 early kills this time for AGHK.
Absolutely brilliant there by AGHK. As we saw, a failed rotation, unfortunately, for Travis. It was a little bit too deep. It was brave, it was noble, but it was a little bit silly because Princess Frost was able to clear up that minion wave as well in the mid lane. Menki rotating around also to sort of try and stop the Masashi from picking up any sort of that passive gold in that mid lane. But Byron with the potential catch out. Snow with a knockup from the Byron as well. We're seeing that live replay. Princess Frost comes through, but we're seeing again that Travis overextending there, unfortunately, in that replay, but nicely done. 2 pickups on the blue side, and that's Myosotis basically saying, you take my Sage buff, you pay for it later down the line, and they have.
Absolutely crazy. 2 more kills now over to AGHK. A really nice play there from Snow, just sitting in the brush, waiting for that engage to happen and waiting for the right moment as well. And that's kind of the kind of craziness that we see from AGHK from this very unique pick from Myostis. Is a pick that I haven't seen before, but really excited to see how they actually play towards this hero and how they can take it to their advantage. But so far, it's done a whole well of good. Over 2,000 goal lead already in this early game.
Absolutely. So this is why I fear that this comes from AGHK China, is the fact that the zoning that comes from the Princess Frost, Menki being so relentless as well. The hero itself doesn't rely on mana. It's just, obviously, the Sage buff will be great for the cooldowns, and Khalid may be getting picked off here by Xinglin and Zays as well. He's very low. All it takes is one of those ultimate shells coming from the Lady Sun, which could potentially come through any moment now. But Travis looking like he is in trouble again. But Zhangfei pushing away the Byron and denying that takedown onto the Mai once again. So well played for Axe MENA to clutch that survivability there, but they are still trying to pick off that Khalid that was trying to cancel the recall there, but it didn't quite come through, and they do pick up the Tyrant over to the side of AGHK China.
Yeah, Tyrant secured now as well. They're just going to take the objectives. They're going to look to try and engage even more as well. Look at them. AGHK are going in numbers at the moment towards the clash lane, towards that top side of the map. Again, just waiting in the bush, waiting for the right moment. The Princess Frost with the stun and another kill again. They are doing this time and time again. AGHK, they are staying in the bushes. They're staying out of vision, and they are catching Axe MENA off guard every single time. But now they're looking for a counter engage if they can try and look for it. The Liam Po trying to dive back in. Has to flash back out, though. The snipe from the rocket from Lady Sun, and this is where the clash lane comes in handy, or the farm lane comes in handy. The rotations again doing so well from Lady Sun, getting a few kills here and another kill over to Princess Frost as well. The 2 more kills over to AGHK, and this is looking really grim now for Axmina.
For Axmina, the way that these kills are going over to Lady Sun is probably the worst scenario for them, with this being a scaling hero. Getting that hero to activate earlier than she normally does is a huge issue for the side of Axmina, because again, the aggression comes through, attack speed is online as well, and then obviously we see a lot of damage come through with Princess Frost just freezing them and giving up the kill to Zaze again. So another kill and a turret. So more gold going over to the Lady Sun. They are just making this hero fat. But that is not stopping Devil for picking up a few kills here and there. This Princess Frost pickup is just brutal on the side of AGHK China. It is really showing what we were talking about in the draft, is that it's a very troublesome pick, especially paired with that Dolia.
And you can see at the moment as to why Princess Frost has been banned so many times and why we haven't seen this hero as much. 2 games in a row now that AGHK has picked this up, and it's looked like an insane pick for them, getting so much crowd control, the zoning potential, as you mentioned before, Blam, with the ultimate as well. It's just absolutely incredible here to see the kind of potential that this hero has. We haven't seen too much yet in this tournament. But now they're just looking to play super aggressive here, take down all the towers. But this is kind of the AGHK that I was expecting. But it does seem like Axmina, again, did make a few mistakes. But again, fair play to them for trying to take the game to AGHK. They wanted to play aggressive. They went for that level 1 invade, which is something that we will probably never see again, really, in this tournament. But it's something that they needed to do to kind of put AGHK, kind of make them feel uncomfortable a little bit. But at the moment, we are 7 minutes into this game. 1 high ground tower is already down. We might even be seeing 2 high ground towers taken down soon. As you can see, Lady Sun's range just doing so much in the back line. The mobility of Lady Sun as well to tumble every few seconds, as there is a trade kill back in the end. But look at that, 2 high ground towers already going down. They don't even want to go back now. They want to end the game in 7.5 minutes. The engage comes through onto Lady Sun, but the tumble away again, being able to create that space, create that opportunity, and AGHK 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Pure domination from the side from Hong Kong.
There we go. We have the Guinness World Book records in the EMEA Finals Split 1 in terms of the matches finishing from AGHK China. Was they able to pick it up and finish the game before even any of the Shadow Tyrants or the Shadow Overlord was there to even be achieved. But did we expect anything different from such a tyrant like this wildcard qualifying team? They are absolutely brutal, and it's for me, reading symbols and signs, that seems to me they were sending a clear message to S2G for tomorrow.
That is a dominating game if I've ever seen one. Something that we were expecting. You know, the first game, they were kind of getting themselves into it a little bit. They were feeling themselves. They were trying to get into the comfort zone. But look at that game too. I think that's really the AGHK that we were expecting coming into this tournament. Full-on aggression, full-on craziness in that game as well. That Lady Sun in the end as well, so difficult to deal with her incredible range, her mobility as well, just getting kill after kill after kill. And did we expect anything more, Blam? I mean, that 25% chance maybe should have been a little bit lower, to be fair. But nonetheless, I mean, fair play to Axmina. You know, don't want to take too much credit away from them. You know, qualifying for the regional finals in the first place is a great achievement. But again, just a little bit unfortunate that they have to come up against the beast that is AGHK in round 1.
Like I said, it was a charitable 25%, and I do have to give props to them in game 1, how they brought the fight to AGHK China. They were able to, many other teams wouldn't have done that. They would have played very coy. They would have waited for the time to strike, whereas Axmina was like, hey, we may not get the chance to strike like they did in game 2. So game 1 was basically them like, yeah, we're going to strike, we're going to make the first blood, we're going to draw first blood, and we're going to make you think otherwise of us. But unfortunately, HK China was just sort of like, okay, game 2, we'll show you what we can do, and we will bring the pain to you. And they did, closing out that match pre-10 minutes. That is the fastest game yet in the EMEA Split finals. So all we're waiting for, Stu, the bingo cards are up. We've had a quad kill. We've had the for the quad crucial crowd control. We've had the steals in the jungle. We're just waiting for that penta to brew up, and it's gotta come tomorrow because it's not gonna come on that grand finals. I can tell you now.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see if we get a pentakill in the end. But unfortunately, Myostis, you can see in the end, just dying right at the end. Nearly a flawless game there for the side of HK. But I really like their composition. Again, both their games, they feel like they've just rounded out a very general composition. You know, it's nothing too crazy. It's no crazy picks or anything like that. It's the picks that we kind of expected, except for the jungle there by Myostis, which is a very unique pick. But really well played by, again, Princess Frost. You're seeing how strong this hero can be and why it's classed as one of the best mid lane heroes as this control mage. Her wave clear in the mid lane, but also her crowd control. She doesn't do a crazy amount in terms of damage, but it's just the crowd control that she brings to the team fights in the end. Yeah, in the end, very dominant. 8 towers to 0. No, I mean, it was nearly the perfect game for HK. If Myostis didn't die, it would have been perfect. They would have lost 0 towers, 0 objectives, 0 deaths, but unfortunately Myostis just kind of inted in the end, I guess. A small int, but a win in the end for HK.
Got a little bit carried away with himself, but hey, I mean, he was MVP of game 1, so he can do whatever he very well please. But it's really interesting to see how Princess Frost has completely just been put on the gorge for a lot of the matches today. Like I was saying, it's kind of like the opposite of Ali, where Ali was very present yesterday but not present today. Princess Frost was very much banned a lot yesterday but is very present today. But here is a few of the highlights. I mean, there's not going to be many highlights here for MENA because they didn't only get 1 kill on the board and no objectives, no turrets as well. But all the highlights are coming for all game in Hong Kong, China right now, and it was just a beautiful aggressive display of victory for the team on the red side as well. But they played this team comp perfectly. They pulled all the resources into the right hero, the Lady Sun. But even though we saw that everything was being put into the Lady Sun, Menki had just as much damage than the farm lane, which is very unusual, especially for a hero with that aesthetic as well. Don't let the cuteness fool you. He can be built AD and can do amazing damage, and the MVP does go over to Zaze this time around. So the farm lane and the jungler managed to pick up the MVPs in both of these series, which is a good props to the team as well. We are going to go over to the interview now.
Well, waiting for the interview at the moment.
Waiting for the interview, sorry.
Not just yet. We're nearly ready for the interview.
I'm getting too excited. I want to hear what they have to say.
I mean, what do they have to say after that one? I don't think there is much to say after such a dominant game, to be honest with you. I think it's
just going to be like one of those anime game moments where they're just going to put the glasses there and it's just going to shine and it's going to like zing, and then they're going to just walk off. That's it. Interview is going to be very confused, just like I was, and then that's it.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen, to be fair. But I mean, overall, very dominant for HK in the end. I think overall, the 2 games that we did see today and the 2 series that we did see today were definitely a lot dominant this time. But now we are ready for the interview with one of the members of HK. So let's go and take a listen.
اهلا وسهلا فيكم مرة أخرى، وعندنا هون مقابلة خاصة مع فريق AG هونغ كونغ بعد فوزه في مباراته بالربع النهائي ضد اكس مينا. يمكن أسرع مباراة شفناها في هذه البطولة. معي هون مارتن وهو المانجر، ومعنا ديفل حيحدثنا أكثر عن مجريات هاي البطولة. Martin, this was maybe the fastest game in the tournament. Did you face any struggle? Was it easy? Were you having fun, or did you try anything new?
Yeah, I'm Devil. Yeah, I think we both team pretty well, and we enjoy the match.
سو استمتعوا بالمباراة بالنسبة لهم. صح إن المباراة كانت سهلة ولكن بالنسبة لهم استمتعوا فيها. Okay, your next opponent will be S2G from Turkey. And this is a strong team. You have any special practice or preparation for this team?
Hayden. Yeah, our coach is our special weapon, and then there's nothing special at all.
اوكي فسالتهم مباراتهم الجايه ضد اس تي جي هل عندهم يعني مخططات معينه متدربين لهذا الفريق؟ قالوا احنا عندنا الخلطه السحريه هي المدرب. فهذا المدرب الله يستر منه حنشوفه اكيد بالمباراه هذيك. Maybe another question for you is if you had to say one thing to S2G, what would you tell them?
Don't make it too easy. Make the match. Yeah.
Don't make it too easy. قلت له لو عندك كلمة توجهها لاس تو جي قال لي لا تسهلوا الأمور علينا. فهو يعني واضح إنه موضوعهم كتير serious. And I noticed there's a special something that just popped out of nowhere. What is this?
Yeah, it's our lucky charms, and then it keeps us safe and then far away from Hong Kong, China here to Abu Dhabi. It's a let's play here. We love to be here.
Okay, and one last maybe word you want to say for your fans?
Yeah, please support AGHK. Also support the HoK community to grow, and then please watch our stream. And then we love to have you guys to review us.
Thank you so much. وسألته إنه يعني فيك طلع مش عارف من هذا الدبدوب طلع من مش عارف من وين. قال لي هذا يعني اللي بيساعدني بيعطينا حظ بدعمنا. في كل شخص كل لاعب دائما عنده دبدوب معين. آخر كلمة وجهته ليها إنه شو بتحب تحكي لمتابعينك في بلادك. حكى شجعونا وتابعونا وأكيد كل الدعم لمجتمع ال HoK ببلدهم. Thank you so much Martin. Thank you so much Devil for being here. Wish you the best of luck in your match. كان معاكم أخوكم عبد الله وحنرجع مرة أخرى للزملاء في استوديو التحليل. زيكا الكلمة لك.
Great to hear there from Devil and the manager of AGHK calling their coach the special weapon. Maybe not the players themselves, maybe the coach themselves. And in terms of the draft, it was a great draft overall and a great series overall for AGHK. And that series tomorrow against S2G Esports is going to be an absolute banger. I cannot wait for that series to start tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Stu, because, I mean, we start off with, obviously, Major Pride against the Vicious, but then that is going to be the closing match to then lead up to the Grand Finals. Ooh! I don't think I could be any more excited, but there you go. For those that are tuning in at home and can't quite understand the rambling of Blam, you can see it there visually where no language barriers can make it be completely distrued or misstrued there. It's a Major Pride against the Vicious tomorrow in the first semi-final match, and then S2G going against All Gaming Hong Kong, China in the last match of the day, all leading up to that very, very important moment on Sunday, the full best of 5 between either of these 4 teams, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to see the conclusion of this one, seeing who gets that place in Season 2 Invitational.
Yeah, I think the big question is going to be is the 2 wildcard teams going to do the full sweep and go all the way to the grand final? So far, both the wildcard teams have not dropped a single game. The Vicious taking a 2-0, AGHK today taking a 2-0. AGHK definitely looking a lot more convincing today than the Vicious did yesterday, but still overall, both wildcard teams are looking very, very strong. And now it's up to Turkey and also the MENA region to try and turn things around now, to try and, you know, see what they can do to actually take down these wildcard teams. Or I should say Eastern European, because the MENA teams are unfortunately out now. But both these other regions need to see if they can actually take it to these wildcard teams, because at the moment, I don't see anything stopping them at all.
Yeah, there's nothing really I can say bad about the MENA region. I think it was just an unfortunate pick up there in the draw. It was just sort of like, we've got both the wild cards in quarterfinals. Unfortunately for us, it's pretty much GG, go next. We'll see you in the next tournament. But yeah, it is all down to the Eastern European team, Major Pride, and then representing Turkey. Very proud is S2G. And as we know, and as I keep alluding to, Turkey has a great talent pool of players. And then Eastern European players are just those rising players like we've seen all the way from Season 1 Invitational, Major Pride, having improved and improved and improved, and they're getting that matchup that they spoke about in their closing game interview against the Vicious. So even if they lose, they are happy to be playing against one of the best teams in the EMEA Split 1 final. So at the end of the day, it's basically they get what they wanted. They get to be one of the teams fighting against one of the best teams and learn from that. So if that helps them into the next tournament, albeit.
And that's exactly what Iraqi Zoro said from S2G, you know, earlier on in the first series of the day. It's like, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And it seems like the best at the moment, from what we have seen already in this quarterfinals, is definitely looking like HK and the Vicious as well. Both these teams are looking incredibly strong as well. But yeah, I mean, looking forward to them semifinals, I think Major Pride versus the Vicious is going to be maybe, I mean, I think both the semifinals are probably going to be pretty close, to be fair. I think S2G maybe have a bit of a chance against AGHK than what we saw today, because S2G also looked pretty good. But between Major Pride and the Vicious, you know, Major Pride are on this kind of rise now ever since their very disappointing performance over in season 1. But they've stuck with the same squad, they stuck with the same team, and they, you know, able to beat Beşiktaş 2-1, which a lot of people didn't see coming.
Absolutely, and I think the thing that Major Pride have with them is that they've battled against the Brazilian champions. Yes, they lost, but they have all that valuable experience losing against Vivo Keystars, so they're going to be taking everything they know going into that, what could potentially be their final match, or going into the grand finals. But that is all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody tuning in at home. I have been Blam, with me is Stu, and we will be seeing you the same time tomorrow for the start of the semifinals of the EMEA Finals Split 1 Honor Kings Open Series. So thank you once again for tuning in with us. Take it easy, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.